Are you ready for the ultimate Zarpado compilation facts? Subscribe and let's start. In Sweden, a company is training crows to collect cigarette butts and small pieces of litter in the city. Every time they deliver trash to a special machine, they receive food as a reward. These birds are intelligent enough to become allies in urban cleanup. Steve Buscemi was a member of the Manhattan Fire Department for 4 years. When the September 11 attacks occurred, he returned as a volunteer. He worked with his former station for 12 weeks without seeking recognition. Much of the show Pawn Stars is filmed with a pre-scripted script. The objects that appear have already been inspected, cleaned, and appraised. Even the participants' reactions follow a predefined structure. Canadian scientists discovered more than 50 gallons of urine in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They used the sweetener acesulfame K as a marker in their analysis. This compound appears in urine and does not easily degrade in water. People with dogs tend to have lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Pets encourage exercise, reduce stress, and improve socialization. Living with a dog improves physical health and emotional well-being. The world's tallest swing is located in Chongqing, China. It reaches almost 330 feet in height and swings over a chasm. Before it opened, more than 4,000 safety tests were conducted. In India, a gigantic sculpture of the mythological bird Jatayu was built. It measures more than 200 feet long and depicts the battle against the demon Ravana. The artwork combines spirituality, mythology, and architecture on a sacred hill. The famous Hollywood sign began as a real estate advertisement in 1923. It originally read Hollywood Land and was later restored. Today, it symbolizes the film industry and the glamour of Los Angeles. Hyenas produce white feces due to their bone-rich diet. The high concentration of calcium leaves their droppings with a chalky appearance. These traces reveal key information to ecologists about their diet. Gently guiding a sleepwalker is better than letting them wander. Although waking them may seem risky, the real danger is letting them sleepwalk aimlessly. Speaking calmly and guiding them back to bed is the safest option. Picasso's full name includes more than 20 words and saints. He was named Pablo Diego José Francisco de Paula Juan Nepomuceno María de los Remedios, a Spanish family tradition that celebrated religious figures and ancestors. Xiaomi launched an electric sedan with artificial intelligence called the SU7. It can park itself and reach speeds of up to 155 miles per hour. In Yucatan, you will find the Chicxulub crater, the origin of the dinosaurs' extinction. It is about 112 miles in diameter and about 12 miles deep. Strange metals in the area confirmed its extraterrestrial origin in 1980. The macaque monkeys of Bali skillfully steal items from tourists. Phones, glasses, and cameras disappear in seconds. Locals offer food to the monkeys in exchange for the return of their stolen belongings. Jackie Chan and Jack Black worked on the Kung Fu Panda saga for over a decade without ever meeting in person. Jackie voiced Master Monkey in Chinese, while Jack voiced Po in English. They only met for the first time in a hotel in China after years of working separately. There are artificially created clouds that reflect sunlight to lower the planet's temperature. They form when water vapor containing particles is released into the atmosphere and can cause rain after about an hour. Michael is a model representing the gamers of the future. He displays effects such as baldness, a hunchback, a prominent belly, and skull deformities, consequences of poor posture and diet. He was created to raise awareness about the lifestyle of gamers. The world's largest airplane, known as the Flying Bum, plans to land in Mallorca. It can carry up to 100 passengers and take off from almost any flat surface, which could change travel as we know it. The hairs in our noses, called cilia, filter the air we breathe by trapping harmful particles. They also warm the air before it reaches our lungs, which is why it is best not to remove them. Wilson unveiled a 3D printed basketball that is completely hollow and airless. It bounces just like a traditional one, and its structure allows for normal gameplay. It is available in white, black, and brown, with a price of around $2,000. In Taupo, New Zealand, there is a McDonald's inside a decommissioned Douglas DC-3 airplane. The dining room, which seats 20, is one of the most unusual in the world and has been there for over 3 decades. Drooling during sleep indicates that the body is completely relaxed. Babies and children do it frequently, but as they grow and stress increases, this sign of deep sleep usually disappears. Some modern cars display the time remaining until the traffic light turns green. This is achieved by connecting to the city's traffic networks. In the future, this feature could be standard on all vehicles. In Colombia, the restaurant El Morgano offers insults as part of its service. Waiters playfully insult customers while serving food, which has turned the place into a viral phenomenon. The world's largest flower garden is located in Dubai. Called the Miracle Garden, it contains more than 190 million flowers and is open from November to April. It includes a floral replica of an Airbus, a 380. Nakizumo is a Japanese festival where babies compete to make them cry. Parents and sumo wrestlers try to make the child cry as part of a tradition that wards off evil spirits and promotes good health. Germany boasts more than 500 types of beer. It also celebrates Oktoberfest, the world's largest beer festival, where millions of gallons of beer are consumed over more than 2 weeks. Paper bread is a Korean culinary trend, known for its extreme thinness and crispy texture. Although it resembles a leaf, it is eaten as a snack or as a side dish in various recipes. The Evzones are soldiers of the Greek Presidential Guard. They must be over 6 feet tall and able to raise their leg to shoulder height as part of their rigorous ceremonial routine. The hydrofoiler is an electric bicycle capable of traveling on water at about 12 miles per hour. It uses a propeller powered by pedals and a motor, combining sport with eco-friendly technology. A drone breaks records by reaching a speed of about 220 miles per hour. Its speed is comparable to that of a Formula One car and represents a major advance in aeronautical engineering. Since ancient times, humanity has collected stories that defy logic, and one of the most surprising dates back to 1855, when mysterious hoofprints appeared in the snow in Devon, England. In addition to stretching over more than 93 miles, these markings climbed walls and roofs without interruption. Even today, researchers refer to this phenomenon as the devil's footprints. On the other hand, when discussing enigmatic phenomena, it is impossible to ignore the case of Mary Toft, an Englishwoman who in 1726 claimed to have given birth to rabbits. Although it was later discovered that the entire event was a carefully orchestrated hoax, the deception was so convincing that even the king's surgeon, Nathaniel Street Andre, believed it to be real. This episode not only shook the medical establishment of the time, but also demonstrated how fragile human credulity can be when presented with an irresistible mystery. Likewise, we cannot forget a scientific curiosity that continues to amaze: the phenomenon of the moss Centricia cananervis, capable of surviving almost without water. This organism, studied by NASA in 2014, can withstand more than 20 years completely dehydrated and revive in minutes when it regains moisture. Thanks to this discovery, biologists expanded their theories about the possibility of life in extreme environments, even on Mars. However, the natural world holds even more mysteries, such as the case of the pando tree, located in Utah, United States. Although at first glance it looks like a forest, it is actually a single organism composed of more than 47,000 genetically identical stems. According to studies from 2008, pando could be more than 14,000 years old, making it one of the oldest living things on the planet. Equally astonishing is the story of the most accurate clock ever created, the strontium atomic clock, developed at the University of Colorado in 2013 by physicist Jun Ye. This device has such a small margin of error that it would take more than 5 billion years to deviate by a single second. Similarly, it is worth remembering that in 2012, archaeologists excavating beneath a parking garage in Leicester, England, unearthed the skeleton of King Richard III, who had been missing since 1485. The discovery confirmed the historical accuracy of his hunchback and revealed multiple fatal wounds suffered at the Battle of Bosworth. Thanks to modern genetics, it was possible to identify him by comparing his mitochondrial DNA with that of a living descendant of his maternal family. Another equally fascinating fact comes from the literary world. In 1841, Edgar Allan Poe wrote The Purloined Letter, one of the first detective stories. Remarkably, Poe anticipated actual police investigation techniques that were not formalized until decades later. His influence was so profound that authors like Arthur Conan Doyle, creator of Sherlock Holmes, acknowledged that without Poe, the genre would not exist as we know it today. In the field of archaeology, a memorable discovery occurred in 1974 when the terracotta warriors of Emperor Qin Shi Huang were unearthed in China. Comprising more than 8,000 figures, each with unique facial features, this ceramic army remained hidden for over 2 millennia. Furthermore, some reports indicate that the emperor's central mausoleum has not yet been opened for fear of damaging its purported world map depicting oceans made of liquid mercury. As if that were not enough, the world of records also offers astonishing facts, such as the case of Jeanne Calment, the French woman born in 1875 who lived to be 122 years old. Her longevity, confirmed by official records, made her the oldest documented person. Among the most striking anecdotes is that she met Vincent van Gogh in 1888 and claimed that the painter seemed dirty, rude, and unpleasant. One of the most unique curiosities relates to the oldest known star map, the Nebra sky map, discovered in Germany in 1999. This bronze disc, inlaid with gold depicting the sun, moon, and constellations, was created around 1600 BC. However, there are also little-known stories about animals with almost impossible abilities, such as the marine snail Elysia chlorotica. Scientifically described in 1870, this tiny creature can photosynthesize by integrating the chloroplasts of the algae it consumes into its body. This means it can live for weeks without eating, simply feeding on sunlight. This peculiar ability has been the subject of biotechnology studies since 1998. However, if we go back to antiquity, we find details that surprise us with their ingenuity, such as the Roman heating system called the hypocaust. Used from the 1st century, it worked by means of hot air currents that circulated under the raised floors of baths in wealthy homes. Although it may seem like a modern advancement, the Romans had already mastered this method almost 2 millennia ago. Likewise, there are stories as unexpected as that of Hiroo Onoda, a Japanese soldier who continued fighting for almost 30 years after the end of World War II. From 1945 to 1974, he remained hidden on Lubang Island in the Philippines, convinced that the war was still ongoing. He only surrendered when his former commander traveled there to order him to do so personally. For its part, the animal kingdom offers one of the most surprising curiosities in the case of the octopus Abdopus aculeatus, first documented in 2005. This small cephalopod can walk upright on 2 tentacles to mimic the movement of a crab or even a rock. Thanks to this ability, it manages to evade predators in extraordinarily creative ways. On the other hand, the history of air transport also offers some unique anecdotes. In 1911, pilot Henri Paquet carried out the world's first airmail flight in India, transporting 6,500 letters over a distance of more than 6 miles. Although it may seem like a short journey, this event marked the beginning of global air logistics. Today, this symbolic act is considered the starting point of the modern postal system. Of course, there is also a curious chapter in human evolution, the existence of the fabular bone, present in the ankles of some people. Documented since the 19th century, it was thought to have disappeared thousands of years ago, but studies in 2019 showed that it is reappearing more frequently. Its return has puzzled anthropologists, as its function remains a mystery. In another vein, the universe offers us an extraordinary curiosity with the existence of the diamond planet known as 55 Cancri E. Discovered in 2004, its carbon-rich composition and extreme pressure conditions suggest that a third of its mass could be made up of solid diamond. Something equally interesting occurs with the history of music, especially in the case of the composer Jean-Baptiste Lully. In 1687, during a rehearsal, he accidentally struck his foot with the staff he used to keep time, since a baton was not used at that time. The wound became infected, and Lully refused to have his leg amputated, which ultimately led to his death. Although many stories seem to spring from fantasy, several actually happened. For example, there is the strange case of the astronomer Tycho Brahe, who in 1566 lost part of his nose in a duel over a mathematical dispute. From then on, he used a metal prosthesis made of brass and silver, secured with a special glue. Paradoxically, despite his eccentricity, Brahe made the most accurate observations before the invention of the telescope. As if that were not enough, there is the surprising phenomenon of the boiling river in the Peruvian Amazon, studied since 2011 by geoscientist Andres Russo. Its waters reach temperatures exceeding about 194 degrees Fahrenheit, so hot they can cook small animals. The fascinating thing is that it is not located near a volcano, which baffled geologists for years. Similarly, it is striking that in 1919, during an expedition to West Africa, the explorer Michel Lesord documented the existence of trees that bleed a red, blood-like liquid. Although this might sound mythical, it was the Parocarpus erinaceus tree whose crimson sap intensifies upon contact with air. Speaking of unexpected discoveries, the 2012 discovery of the underwater forest off the coast of Alabama stands out. This submerged ecosystem contains cypress trunks over 50,000 years old, perfectly preserved by ocean mud. Thanks to this time capsule, biologists have been able to study unique marine species that inhabit only this ancient wood. Similarly, it is impossible to ignore that the world's first autonomous robot was created in 1952 by British engineer W. Gray Walter. His small automatons, called turtles, could move, seek light, and avoid obstacles using very simple circuits. Surprisingly, their behavior seems so alive that it even inspired debates about early artificial intelligence. Furthermore, there are stories as strange as the case of the CI-1 Orgueil meteorite, which fell in France in 1864. This space fragment contained complex organic molecules, some similar to those present in life on Earth. Now, in the medical field, a particularly curious event occurred in 1921 when surgeon Evan Kane decided to operate on himself to demonstrate that local anesthesia could replace general anesthesia in minor procedures. The doctor removed his own appendix in a surgery that lasted less than an hour. The success of his experiment contributed to the popularization of new anesthetic techniques. On the other hand, the natural world offers wonders such as the walking fish, Cryptotora thamacola. Discovered in caves in Thailand in 2016, this fish possesses a skeletal structure that allows it to move out of the water, using movements similar to those of a salamander. Also noteworthy is the strange phenomenon of black snow in Russia in 2019, when several regions of Siberia awoke covered in a dark layer. Although many considered it an apocalyptic omen, scientists concluded that the phenomenon was due to soot emitted by nearby industrial plants. However, the literary world offers even more oddities, such as the case of the French poet Arthur Rimbaud, who abandoned writing at the age of 21, despite being considered a genius. After traveling through Africa from 1880, he became an arms dealer and explorer. As if that were not enough, the microbiological universe holds surprises like the bacterium Deinococcus radiodurans, discovered in 1956. Known as Conan the bacterium, it can survive radiation levels thousands of times higher than those that would kill a human. Its secret lies in its extraordinary ability to repair its own DNA. It is so resilient that it has even survived in space chambers exposed to a vacuum. On the other hand, in the world of sports, there is the story of athlete Dora Rotchen, who competed in Berlin in 1936. Decades later, in 1957, it was discovered that her real name was Heinrich Rotchen and that she had been forced by the Nazi authorities to compete as a woman to improve her chances of winning a medal. This case is one of the most controversial in Olympic history. Similarly, there is the intriguing phenomenon of animal rain, documented in various parts of the world. In 2005, for example, the city of Odzaci in Serbia reported a rain of thousands of frogs. Although it seems impossible, meteorologists explain that tornadoes and strong winds can lift small animals and carry them for miles before releasing them. This phenomenon has inspired myths since antiquity. Similarly, in the animal world, the octopus Abdopus aculeatus, formally observed for the first time in 2005 near Indonesia, demonstrated the ability to walk on two tentacles while using the other six to camouflage itself among algae. Even in the realm of history, a little-known fact reveals that in 1730, the Ethiopian Emperor Iyasu II gifted a live giraffe to King Louis XIV of France. The animal became a sensation in Paris, inspiring paintings, poems, and even extravagant fashions in clothing that imitated its spotted pattern. Similarly, it seems almost magical that in 2018, Japanese researchers discovered that the Yoshino cherry blossom, cultivated since 1894, is actually a mass clone, millions of genetically identical trees that originated from a single specimen. At the same time, an inexplicable geological phenomenon occurred on June 30th, 1908, in Tunguska, Siberia, when an explosion equivalent to about 185 Hiroshima bombs devastated more than 770 square miles of forest. Although the most widely accepted theory points to a meteor exploding in the atmosphere, no solid remains have ever been found. Likewise, in literature, an exquisite detail is that the original 1818 manuscript of Frankenstein, written by Mary Shelley, contains deletions made by her husband, Percy Shelley, who attempted to alter key phrases. This detail reveals that the first modern science fiction novel was a surprisingly collaborative work. As if that were not enough, in 2013, a team of paleontologists in China discovered fossils of a 125-million-year-old bird called Eoconfuciusornis. Its bones preserved traces of melanosomes, allowing scientists to deduce the true colors of its plumage, a reddish pattern with black spots. It was the first time the exact color of a prehistoric animal had been definitively reconstructed. Even plants hold impressive secrets, such as the case of the Phylostachys bamboo, which flowers synchronously every 120 years, regardless of its location in the world. The last mass flowering occurred in 1976, and the next one is expected around 2096, although no one can explain why all plants follow the same biological clock. Furthermore, in 1994, hikers in France discovered the Chauvet Cave, containing remarkably detailed 36,000-year-old cave paintings. They depict maneless lions, woolly rhinoceroses, and horses with expressions that still impress with their realism today. Meanwhile, the star UY Scuti, cataloged in 1860, remains one of the largest known stellar giants. Its diameter is so enormous that, if it replaced the Sun, it would extend beyond the orbit of Saturn, easily engulfing entire planets. Furthermore, in the Mojave Desert, there is a phenomenon that has baffled visitors since 1940, the spontaneous movement of the sailing rocks of Racetrack Playa. These rocks appear to glide, leaving long furrows in the dry ground. Only in 2014, thanks to GPS and high-speed cameras, was it discovered that thin layers of ice, driven by the wind, allow for this movement. As if that were not enough, the ocean harbors unexpected creatures such as the goblin shark, first identified in 1898 by David Starr Jordan. This shark has a sword-shaped snout and jaws that spring outward. Due to its ghostly appearance, it is considered a living fossil. Similarly, in Japan, there is a telephone that does not connect to any network but receives thousands of calls every year. It is called the wind telephone, installed by Itaru Sasaki in 2010 after losing a family member. People come to talk to deceased loved ones, especially after the tsunami of 2011. Although it is not a functional device, its emotional power has made it a symbol of grief and hope. On the other hand, medical science documents cases that defy expectations, such as that of Phineas Gage, who in 1848 survived having an iron rod driven through his skull. Although he lost part of his frontal lobe, he was able to walk and talk minutes after the accident. However, his personality changed radically. Interestingly, in the Middle Ages, there existed a manuscript so strange that many believed its author was possessed. This is the Codex Gigas, also called the Devil's Bible. Created around the year 1230, it contains a gigantic portrait of the devil, medical texts, and exorcism prayers. Legend says it was written in a single night thanks to a pact with the devil, although modern studies estimate it would have taken more than 20 years to complete. Even gastronomy has its share of surprising stories, like the accidental origin of French fries in 1853. Chef George Crumb, annoyed by a customer who kept sending back his fries because they were too thick, decided to cut them extremely thin and crisp them up as a joke. To his surprise, the customer loved them. From that day on, French fries became his signature dish. On the other hand, there is a lake in Tanzania that turns animals into statues. It is Lake Natron, whose highly alkaline waters reach a pH of 12. Animals that fall in become covered in salt deposits that petrify their bodies. Photographer Nick Brandt documented this macabre beauty in 2013. Despite their deadly appearance, pink flamingos nest there without any problems. Also fascinating is the story of King Pedro, the first of Portugal, who in 1360 crowned his beloved Inés de Castro queen, even though she had been dead for 2 years. After her political assassination, Pedro ordered her body exhumed, dressed in royal robes, and forced the nobles to kiss her hand. Volcanoes, in turn, conceal phenomena such as the so-called volcanic lightning. In 2016, the eruption of Mount Sakurajima in Japan produced thousands of electrical flashes around the ash column. This effect occurs when charged particles collide during the eruption. The spectacle has also been recorded in Iceland, Chile, and the Philippines, creating images that seem straight out of a fantasy film. In the field of modern medicine, the case of the bubble boy, David Vetter, moved the world from his birth in 1971. Due to a severe immunodeficiency, he lived for 12 years inside a sterile capsule. Although his life was short, his treatments paved the way for the first bone marrow transplants. His story remains a reminder of the power of medical research. Furthermore, in 2009, a team of archaeologists discovered the remains of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a temple 7,000 years older than Stonehenge. Its columns, decorated with animal figures, suggest complex rituals in societies that had not yet adopted agriculture. This discovery completely changed the theory of how the first civilizations arose. In 2014, archaeologists in Romania found a cave sealed for 5.5 million years, known as Movile. Its toxic atmosphere of sulfur and methane is home to more than 30 species never seen outside of this location. Most incredibly, these species do not depend on sunlight, but rather on chemosynthetic bacteria that produce energy in complete darkness. Meanwhile, in the realm of nature, an extraordinary phenomenon was documented in Greenland in 2012, a river of blue light flowing across the surface of the ice. It was not running water, but a layer of microbubbles trapped in compressed snow, refracting the sun so perfectly that it resembled a luminous liquid flow. This optical effect, detected near Kangerlussuaq, only occurs at specific temperatures and under a very precise solar angle. Meanwhile, Japan is home to one of the world's longest-lived trees, a tree planted in the year 1000 AD next to Keio Temple in Nara. This cedar, known as Senbon Sugi, has survived fires, storms, and earthquakes for over 1,000 years. Monks say its longevity is due to rituals performed since the Heian period, although botanists attribute it to a unique combination of genetics and mineral-rich volcanic soil. History also contains almost forgotten moments. For example, the Lake Nyos incident in Cameroon, which occurred on August 21, 1986. A gigantic cloud of carbon dioxide emerged from the bottom of the lake and drifted down the valley, killing more than 1,700 people in a matter of minutes. Scientists discovered that the gas had accumulated for years until a small landslide triggered its release. Speaking of unusual phenomena, in 1973, an American airliner, Flight 182, accidentally flew through a red Sprite storm, giant electrical discharges that occur in the upper atmosphere, before they were officially discovered. The pilots described luminous red columns rising into the sky, but no one believed them. It was not until 1989 that the first official images were captured, confirming that what they had reported was completely real. Similarly, in 2000, a team of archaeologists in China discovered the frozen body of a woman over 2,400 years old, whose skin was incredibly well preserved. Known as Lady Di, she had flexible joints, intact organs, and even traces of blood. Most astonishingly, no one understands how they were able to embalm her with such perfection, as the technology used still surpasses the medical knowledge of her time. Regarding the animal world, in 2013, a strange behavior was documented in Argentine ants. They form super colonies that stretch for thousands of miles without fighting among themselves. This occurs because ants from different regions share almost identical chemical markers, as if they were part of the same gigantic family. In 2020, a study revealed that octopuses, when stressed or irritated, launch jets of water specifically aimed at researchers. What is interesting is not only their aim, but that they seem to act driven by a kind of momentary bad mood. Meanwhile, in the realm of history, there is an almost forgotten event. The city of London was hit in 1952 by a toxic smog so thick that many could not see their own feet. This event, known as the Great Smog, caused around 12,000 deaths due to coal pollution. On the other hand, a red rock was discovered in the Sahara Desert in 1999 that turned out to be a fragment of an ancient, destroyed planet. Called Hypatia, it possesses chemical microstructures that do not match any terrestrial material or common meteorite. Its composition suggests that it comes from the early days of the solar system, perhaps even before the formation of the Sunday. This discovery raises fascinating questions about the materials that gave rise to our own planet. In the field of art, there is the Hope Diamond Curse, a 45-carat blue gem discovered in India around 1666. Several owners suffered tragedies that contributed to its sinister reputation, including the execution of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette after they briefly owned it. Although considered superstition, its history full of coincidences has made it one of the most enigmatic objects in the Smithsonian Museum, where it has been housed since 1958. On the other hand, in 2005, paleontologists analyzing a 125-million-year-old fossil in China found melanosomes, allowing them to reconstruct the true color of ancient dinosaurs. This discovery completely changed our understanding, revealing that species like Sinosauropteryx had orange tails with white stripes. This finding demonstrated that many prehistoric creatures were more colorful than ever imagined. Something equally fascinating occurred in 1969 when astronaut Buzz Aldrin took communion on the moon. He did so in secret, as NASA preferred to avoid religious controversy, especially after lawsuits against Apollo 8. Aldrin carried a small chalice and consecrated bread, making this act the first sacrament performed off Earth. This detail remained hidden for decades. In 2014, scientists managed to observe a fish called Amphiprion ocellaris, using tiny, custom-made glasses to see how it perceived polarized light. The results showed that these fish can detect patterns invisible to the human eye, allowing them to communicate discreetly with each other. In 1859, a young naturalist named Alfred Wallace sent a manuscript from Borneo describing natural selection, unaware that Charles Darwin had been working on the same idea for 20 years. This historical coincidence forced them both to jointly present the theory in London. Paradoxically, Wallace was never bothered by this, stating that science does not belong to a name but to a truth. In nature, the Morpho-Menelaus butterfly does not get its bright blue color from pigments, but from the nanostructure of its wings. These microscopic layers reflect light at a particular angle, creating a metallic effect. Modern engineers have attempted to replicate this design to improve displays and optical devices. In 1943, during World War II, the Allies deployed a completely fake army composed of inflatable tanks, mock radios, and actor soldiers. This deception, known as Operation Fortitude, was led by the fictitious General George Patton. Incredibly, Germany believed the actual landing would take place in Calais, not Normandy. Thanks to this theatrical strategy, the D-Day invasion had a much greater chance of success. Speaking of ancient technological marvels, the Lycurgus vases, Roman cups from the 6th century BC, change color depending on the direction of the light, thanks to gold and silver nanoparticles embedded in their glass. This demonstrates that the Romans mastered nanometric techniques without understanding the modern science behind them. The effect, known as dichroism, remains one of the most beautiful examples of ancient scientific art. It is astonishing that in 1938, the German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig found an object in Baghdad that looked like an ordinary vessel, but contained an iron bar and a copper cylinder. Later called the Baghdad Battery, some believe it generated small electrical charges, suggesting that Mesopotamian civilizations understood electricity thousands of years before Edison. In Japan, there is a cultural phenomenon called hikikomori, documented since the 1990s, which describes people who completely isolate themselves from the world for months or even years. Some extreme cases have lasted for more than a decade. During the height of navigation in the 18th century, sailors feared a creature called the Kraken, described as a giant sea monster capable of sinking ships. In 1857, the Danish zoologist Japetus Steenstrup identified it as likely the colossal squid Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni. This squid can measure up to about 46 feet and has tentacles with rotating hooks, fueling the legend with its terrifying appearance. In the field of linguistics, the Piraha language, spoken by an Amazonian tribe studied by Daniel Everett since 1977, lacks numbers, verb tenses, and specific colors. Even so, its speakers can communicate with extraordinary efficiency. Their way of conceptualizing time is so unique that it challenges universal theories of human grammar. In Australia, there is a rock called Uluru that changes color depending on the time of day. Mentioned in studies as early as 1870, it takes on a bright pink hue at dawn, a deep red at midday, and a profound purple at sunset. For the Anangu people, it is a sacred place whose formation is attributed to ancestral beings. Its cultural magnetism attracts millions of visitors. On the other hand, in 2013, archaeologists discovered the Harbin Man, a hominid skull over 140,000 years old found in China. What is impressive is that it does not fit neatly into the Homo sapiens or Neanderthal categories, leading to the proposal of a new species, Homo longi. Even the plant world holds mysteries, such as the Mimosa pudica plant, known since 1873, which folds its leaves when touched. This movement, called thigmonesty, is so rapid that it has no clear equivalent in most plants. Recent experiments suggest that plants can learn from repetitive stimuli, raising uncomfortable questions about intelligence in plants. In 2012, the tau neutrino, originally discovered in 1975 by Martin Pearl, was observed traveling from a distant supernova, confirming models that suggest these tiny particles pass through entire planets without interacting. Its detection demonstrates how little we still understand about the invisible universe around us. A shrimp's heart is actually located in its head, an anatomical detail that surprises even marine biologists. This peculiar location is due to the fact that its head is actually a fused cephalothorax where vital organs are concentrated. The brain and gills are also located there, all protected by a rigid shell. In Japan, there is a town called Nagoro, located in the Iya Valley, which became an eerie scene around 2014. As its inhabitants aged or moved away, the artist Ayano Tsukimi created life-size dolls to replace them. Currently, there are more than 350 figures distributed throughout the streets, schools, and empty shops. The result is a town where the silences seem denser than the wind. Oysters can change sex multiple times throughout their lives, depending on environmental factors and reproductive availability. This phenomenon was documented as early as the 18th century by French naturalists studying their cycles. The ostrich egg, considered the largest of any living species, can reach about 3 pounds in weight. However, it is still smaller than the fossilized eggs of large dinosaurs like titanosaurs. Fragments found in Asia and Argentina show enormous structures up to about 12 inches in diameter. They represent petrified memories of a time when the biological scale was different. In 1976, Belgium minted chocolate-scented coins to commemorate its chocolate-making tradition. The idea originated as an experimental tourism campaign during a local festival. Although eye-catching, they were not put into circulation due to obvious wear and tear. Today, they are highly sought-after collector's items among numismatists. Cats cannot taste sweetness because they lack the TAS1R2 gene, responsible for detecting sugars. This discovery stemmed from a genetic analysis published in 2005 by a team from Cornell University. While they may show curiosity about desserts, they do not actually perceive any sweetness. Evolutionarily, they never needed to, as their carnivorous diet does not depend on carbohydrates. There are sharks that glow in the dark, such as the giant lantern shark, Etmopterus lucifer, and the velvet belly lantern shark, Etmopterus spinax. Their bioluminescence was officially recorded in 2019 studies in New Zealand. They emit bluish light from their skin to camouflage themselves in deep waters where sunlight barely penetrates. In South Korea, there is a museum dedicated to ramen, opened in 2012 in Seoul. The museum explores the history of instant noodles and their cultural impact, showcasing everything from the first packages in 1958 to modern innovations. Visitors can sample unique recipes and learn about the globalization of this food. Niagara Falls can partially freeze under extremely cold conditions, as happened in January 1848 and on several recent occasions. Although water continues to flow beneath the ice, the surface can form impressive frozen sculptures. Photographers have documented these winter transformations, turning them into spectacular natural phenomena. The effect demonstrates the interaction of climate and geography. Darwin's frog raises its young inside its throat, a reproductive behavior documented since 1895. The male carries the fertilized eggs until fully formed tadpoles emerge. This adaptation protects the offspring from predators and harsh environmental conditions. It is a remarkable example of extreme parental care in amphibians. The first cat to go into space was Félicette, sent by France in 1963. The French space program sought to study the effects of weightlessness on mammals. Félicette survived the flight, and her scientific records helped prepare for subsequent human missions. Her story was forgotten for decades until a small monument was erected in Paris in her honor in 2019. In 1973, a man was arrested in North Carolina for stealing a tank to buy beer. The story made the rounds in American newspapers, and went viral before the digital age. The man only managed to drive a few miles before being apprehended. This episode demonstrates how reality sometimes surpasses any attempt at absurd fiction. Reindeer eyes change color with the seasons. They are golden in summer and blue in winter. This adaptation improves their vision in low-light conditions and allows them to better reflect the scarce polar sunlight. Research in Norway and Sweden since 2013 has confirmed this physiological change. It is a fascinating example of how Arctic animals adapt to extreme conditions. The world's largest flower, Rafflesia arnoldii, can exceed more than 3 feet in diameter and weigh more than 24 pounds. Its smell of rotting meat attracts flies and beetles that pollinate the plant. It was first documented in Sumatra at the beginning of the 19th century and continues to be the subject of botanical study. Crickets can indicate the temperature by counting their chirps, a phenomenon described by the naturalist Amos Dolbear in 1897. His method, known as Dolbear's Law, allows one to estimate the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit based on the frequency of their sounds. This system is even used in entomological field studies. It is an example of how nature offers ingenious indicators of its environment. 80% of the world's volcanoes are underwater, forming mountain ranges and mid-ocean ridges that cover the seabed. Their activity, although less visible, plays a key role in crust formation and geological cycles. Geophysical and underwater studies initiated in the 20th century revealed these hidden structures. Alpacas cannot survive alone, as they are social animals that require companionship to maintain their well-being. Their herd behavior includes communication through sounds and body postures. Studies in South America show that a lack of companionship can lead to stress and health problems. The African elephant has the longest gestation period in the animal kingdom, lasting approximately 22 months. This extended period allows for the complete development of the fetus and ensures greater survival at birth. Ethological studies in reserves in East Africa have documented these reproductive cycles. Some stones can float like pumice, thanks to their porous and lightweight structure. This volcanic rock contains gas bubbles trapped during the eruption, which reduces its density. It can remain afloat for weeks without sinking. There is a fish called the penis fish because of its strange, elongated, and tubular appearance. Its scientific name is Eurechus unicinctus, and it primarily inhabits coastal waters of East Asia. Biologists study it for its adaptations to the substrate and its deposit-feeding diet. Its unusual shape makes it a striking example of evolutionary diversity in marine environments. Komodo dragons can detect blood from about 2.5 miles away, thanks to an extremely acute sense of smell. They use their forked tongues to sniff the air and locate wounded prey or carcasses. Research in Komodo National Park has documented their hunting and feeding strategy. Flatworms can regenerate their entire heads, including brains and sensory organs. Research since the 1960s has shown that even small fragments can grow into complete individuals. This fascinating ability has been key to studies of regeneration and stem cells. The driest place on Earth is not a typical desert, but the dry valleys of Antarctica, where no significant rainfall has been recorded for millions of years. These valleys form an extreme ecosystem with dehydrated soils and extremely low temperatures. Researchers use the area as a Mars analog for scientific experiments. Spiders cannot fly, but some species sail using silk threads as parachutes, a process called ballooning. Juveniles take advantage of air currents to travel miles without touching the ground. This behavior was observed by Charles Darwin and scientifically documented in studies of spider dispersal. The first recorded proper name is Kushim, dating back some 5,000 years, on Sumerian tablets from Mesopotamia. This name appears in commercial and accounting records, evidencing the early administration of ancient societies. The discovery has been studied by archaeologists since the mid-20th century. Frogs can freeze without dying, a phenomenon documented in species such as the wood frog, Rana sylvatica. During winter, their metabolism stops, and the water in their bodies turns to ice, preserving organs and tissues. Comparative physiology research has revealed antifreeze proteins that protect cells. This adaptation allows amphibians to survive in extreme climates without migrating. The darkest planet discovered reflects less light than coal, absorbing almost 99% of the light it receives. Known as WASP-12b, it is a giant exoplanet close to its star, where extreme radiation causes it to faint. Its discovery was recorded in 2008 using space telescopes. This extreme world challenges our understanding of planetary reflectivity and color. Spiders can have up to 12 eyes, although most species do not use them for detailed vision. Their extra eyes allow them to efficiently detect movement and predators. Arachnological research has cataloged these variations since the early 20th century. A newborn calf can weigh as much as an average adult human, around 90 to 110 pounds. This considerable mass at birth gives them the strength to stand and quickly follow their mother. Veterinary studies show that this initial size is vital for survival in open rangelands. Bovine growth biology reflects evolutionary adaptations to predation and grazing. The ocean sunfish, or mola mola, can weigh up to 2 tons and measure over 10 feet in length. Its laterally compressed and flattened body gives it a unique appearance. Oceanographic research documents its diet of jellyfish and its migratory behavior. This giant fish is one of the heaviest in the world, captivating visitors with its size and appearance. There are volcanoes that erupt beneath glaciers, a phenomenon known as subglacial volcanoes. The pressure of the ice can contain explosions, but it also generates underground lava flows that alter rivers and lakes. Iceland and Antarctica are regions where these volcanoes have been intensively studied. Cockroaches existed before the dinosaurs, more than 300 million years ago. Their resilience and adaptability allowed them to survive mass extinctions. Fossil studies show that these insects have changed very little, demonstrating extraordinary evolutionary success. The survival of cockroaches demonstrates the ability of organisms to persist through vast environmental changes. The first barcode scanned was on a pack of chewing gum in 1974 in Ohio, United States. This innovation revolutionized modern commerce and logistics, automating inventories and payments. The invention was based on a system developed in the 1950s by Norman Woodland and Bernard Silver. Since then, the barcode has become a global standard for product tracking and control. Bats always turn left when leaving a cave, a flight pattern observed in various species. Ethological research suggests that this behavior is instinctive and helps avoid collisions. Experiments with artificial caves confirm that the tendency persists even under controlled conditions. The world's first photograph took 8 hours to capture, taken by Joseph Nicephore Niepce in 1826. His image, known as View from the Window at Le Gras, required continuous sunlight to fix the image on a pewter plate. This procedure marked the beginning of modern photography and the capture of reality on permanent media. In Colombia, there is a river that resembles a rainbow, Caño Cristales, famous for its red, yellow, and green colors that emerge from aquatic plants. This natural phenomenon occurs between July and November, when light and water conditions are ideal. Neuroscience research using magnetic resonance imaging has demonstrated this temporary reduction in volume. This phenomenon is part of the glymphatic system, which clears metabolic waste. Crows have funeral rituals, gathering around deceased members of their species and engaging in observational or mourning behaviors. Ethological studies have documented that these animals learn about dangers and predators through these ceremonies. The pressure inside the Earth's core is about 3 million times greater than at the surface, reaching roughly 52 million pounds per square inch. This enormous pressure, along with temperatures exceeding about 9,030 degrees Fahrenheit, influences the behavior of materials and magnetic flux. Geophysical research, through simulations and seismic studies, allows us to estimate these extreme conditions. The Earth's core is a natural laboratory of high-pressure, high-energy physics. Shooting stars can also be debris from human-made spacecraft re-entering the atmosphere, in addition to meteoroids and space dust. Satellites, rocket fragments, and space junk burn up upon contact with dense air. Astronomers have recorded these events and differentiated their origin through spectroscopic analysis. This phenomenon reminds us that even our technological creations interact with the cosmos. 90% of active volcanoes are located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, a zone of intense tectonic and seismic activity. This region encircles the Pacific Ocean and is home to countries such as Japan, Indonesia, and Chile. Geological studies show how plate convergence causes frequent eruptions. The Ring of Fire is a reminder that dynamic geology is constantly shaping our planet. There is a transparent fish called the Salpa maggiore, whose body structure allows internal organs to be seen with the naked eye. This gelatinous organism primarily inhabits deep waters and plays a key role in the oceanic food chain. Marine research has documented its biology and adaptations to minimal pressure and light. In Japan, there is a museum dedicated entirely to toilets, known as the Toilet Museum in Tokyo. This museum celebrates the technology, history, and culture of the bathroom, combining interactive and educational exhibits. Opened in the 1990s, it attracts visitors of all ages and nationalities. Biting into an apple can be more effective at waking you up than coffee, thanks to its fructose and fiber content, which stimulates circulation and provides immediate energy. Nutritional studies have compared the effect of fruit versus caffeine on alertness and cognitive performance. The act of chewing also activates facial muscles and sensory neurons. Wombat feces are cubic, a unique characteristic in the animal kingdom that helps them mark their territory without the feces rolling. Anatomy and biomechanics studies explain that its shape is due to the pressure and elasticity of the intestines. This curious fact has been extensively documented by Australian biologists. This is Derek Muller, an Australian YouTuber and creator of Veritasium. He won $10,000 after proving that a wind-powered vehicle could move faster than the wind itself. A physics professor at the University of California had accused him of making a mistake, but Derek challenged him to a science bet, and after proving his point, he elegantly collected his winnings. These are stunning portraits and recreations of classic works made with colored pebbles. British artist Justin Bateman creates temporary mosaics in forests, beaches, or parking lots. Each stone is placed by hand, forming portraits so detailed they look like paintings. However, his works are ephemeral. The wind or the tide washes them away, leaving them only on his social media. Meet Geronimo Flores, a Mexican grandfather who turned his motorcycle taxi into a Christmas sleigh. For over 10 years, he's decorated it according to the season, but only recently did he have enough money to add the sleigh. At Christmas, he travels the streets spreading joy, and the children call him the Santa Claus of Chiapas. This is Cassie, the first bipedal robot capable of running about 3.1 miles without human assistance. Developed by Oregon State University, it completed the route in less than an hour on a single charge. Thanks to a machine learning system, it learned to maintain its balance and correct itself. It literally runs as if it had a soul. In Norway, there's the most beautiful public restroom on the planet, located in Uredplassen, a viewpoint overlooking the Norwegian Sea. From there, you can admire the fjords, the northern lights in winter, and the midnight sun in summer. Anyone who sits there understands that even going to the bathroom can be a luxury with otherworldly views. This is Christina Koch, a NASA astronaut and holder of the record for 328 consecutive days in space, the longest stay ever by a woman. He worked on the International Space Station conducting biology and physics experiments. He came within 12 days of equaling the all-time record for human time spent in orbit. Surfer Taylor Lane made a surfboard out of 10,000 cigarette butts. Along with a friend, he traveled along California beaches in 2016, collecting them one by one. Incredibly, the board is fully functional and floated on the waves as if it were made of eco-friendly gold. These are Lundy and Herman, a Chihuahua and a pigeon with an unlikely friendship. Lundy can't walk and Herman can't fly. They met at the Mia Foundation in New York, and since then, they've been inseparable. A pair that proves that wings or legs don't define friendship. House in the Rock is a project by architect Amy Kandal Gonkar, inspired by the rock formation of Madain Saleh, Saudi Arabia. It seeks to embed a modern house within a natural rock formation, combining stone and glass. The design includes a swimming pool, outdoor terraces, and a view that looks like it's straight out of a futuristic movie. In London, there's a bar for humans and dogs called After Bark. Founded by James Wong, it offers alcohol-free and preservative-free cocktails made with natural herbs. Here, you can sip a gin and tonic while your dog enjoys a healthy paw-grony. A canine paradise with British flair. In Moscow, there's a gym built entirely from scrap metal. Located in Kodinka Park, it was created by Russian fitness enthusiasts. Its machines are wooden structures combined with car parts, tires, and tractor components. It's a testament to creativity and eco-friendly muscle. Rudolph Ingram, known as Blaze, was dubbed the fastest kid in the world. In 2018, at just 7 years old, he ran a distance of about 328 feet in 13.48 seconds, accumulating more than 20 gold medals. His speed is so impressive that it seems as if Flash has been reincarnated in him. Designer Adam Friedman created a curved wooden bench for Ziki furniture. Each cushion block adapts to the user's body, making the person sitting feel as if they are floating. Their black collection combines strength, comfort, and elegance, demonstrating that design can also embrace. The Ili Pika is an adorable creature from China that looks like a teddy bear. It measures only about 8 inches and lives in the mountains of the Northwest. It was discovered in 1983, and it is estimated that fewer than 1,000 specimens remain. It is so rare to see that it is considered the real-life Pokemon of the Himalayas. At Disneyland, there is a nearly century-old jewel. King Arthur's Carousel, built in 1922 and moved to the park in 1954. It opened in 1955, and its history is intertwined with that of Camelot and medieval legends. It is one of the last vestiges of the past within the magical kingdom. The Russian studio RSK Air Design manufactures furniture and decorations using parts from Soviet aircraft. Each piece has a QR code that allows you to trace the original aircraft model. Thus, a piece of aviation history ends up transformed into functional art for modern homes. Argentine artist Marta Minujin built the Parthenon of Forbidden Books in Kassel, Germany, using 100,000 censored books from around the world. She erected it right where the Nazis had burned literary works, a monumental metaphor for freedom and memory. There is a tiny spider called Microthena sagittata, nicknamed the Pikachu spider, because of its yellow color and black markings. The female measures barely less than ½ an inch, but her triangular shape and vibrant colors make her look like she came from a video game. Small but with plenty of personality. Businessman Michael J. Baines feeds more than 80 stray dogs every day in Thailand. He is the founder of The Man That Rescues Dogs, an organization that fights against abandonment. While many poison animals, he saves them. His motto, "The problem isn't the dogs, it's the people." Ghanaian artist Jeffrey Apiadu creates hyper-realistic portraits using only graphite and charcoal. His works resemble photographs, with details that capture pores, shadows, and emotions. He began drawing caricatures in 2011 and is now considered one of the rising stars of African realism. There is a portable, foldable hammock stand made of aluminum, ideal for use on the beach. Lightweight, easy to assemble and disassemble, it allows you to hang out in the sand and wind without any trees nearby. Relaxation, literally, anywhere in the world. Klepeton the stork travels 14,000 kilometers each year from Africa to Croatia, to visit his mate Milena, who has been unable to fly since 1993. He returns every spring, and together they are a symbol of eternal love. When winter arrives, Klepeton departs, but he always comes back. In Norway stands the Cliff Concept Boutique Hotel, suspended over a 1,960-foot abyss. It has a floating pool, transparent balconies, and a restaurant with breathtaking views. A destination for those who want to sleep literally at the edge of the world. Giant squid have the largest eyes on the planet. They measure about 12 inches in diameter, 6 more than a basketball. Their enormous eyeballs allow them to detect predators in the depths where darkness reigns. Russian restorer Rulis Kenzin rescues Soviet toy cars and restores them to their original splendor. These small metal relics were manufactured by real automotive companies during the USSR, and today they are revived in his workshop as capsules of communist nostalgia. The world's largest mosaic was found in Antioch, Turkey, dating back to the 5th century. It covers more than 9,000 square feet and remains almost intact despite the earthquakes of 526 AD. Its discovery 13 years ago revealed scenes of ancient life preserved in stone. In 2023, a copy of Detective Comics number 27, Batman's first appearance in 1939, sold for $880,000. Its original price was 10 cents, but its rarity drove the price up to nearly $1 million. The Dark Knight does not just fight crime, he also breaks records. Makeup artist Kike Yanni went viral on social media for transforming herself into celebrities like Kate Blanchett, Taylor Swift, and Michael Jackson. With over 100,000 followers, her talent turns makeup into a form of artistic metamorphosis. Disney owns a private island in the Bahamas called Castaway Cay, leased until 2096. It is an exclusive port of call for its cruise ships, and about 60 employees live there year-round. In this paradise, even Mickey Mouse wears sunscreen. A futuristic wheelchair can ascend or descend 30 steps per minute, powered by an electric motor. It reaches speeds of up to 6 miles per hour and has a range of 15 miles per charge. A revolution in mobility that combines engineering and hope. The dish called swine apple combines pineapple stuffed with pork and wrapped in bacon. It was invented in 2015 by Josh Bush, a grilling enthusiast. He uploaded it to the internet, and the carnivorous world embraced it enthusiastically, a tropical and greasy invention that is irresistible. Brazilian Marcio Misael Matolius, known as King Marcio, has lived for more than 20 years in a sandcastle on a Rio de Janeiro beach. With a crown and a smile, he became a symbol of freedom, the man who possesses everything without owning anything. French photographer Romain Thierry has been photographing abandoned buildings since 2011. He has immortalized more than 500 locations, showcasing the beauty of decay. His images remind us that nothing is eternal, but everything can be beautiful before it is forgotten. The Belt of Venus is a phenomenon that appears at dawn or dusk, a pinkish band above the horizon caused by the scattering of sunlight. Its name sounds romantic, and its appearance, though brief, tinges the sky with a celestial mystery. American prodigy Mike Wimmer from North Carolina graduated from high school and college in the same week at just 12 years old. He earned a degree in robotics engineering and is already designing artificial intelligence systems. His childhood is quite literally ahead of its time. The Palace of Knossos in Crete, Greece, houses the oldest throne room in Europe, dating back to 3000 BC. With more than 1,300 rooms, it was the heart of the Minoan civilization. Today, it is an archaeological site open to the public. Sailor Mohammed Aisha lived for 4 years trapped on an abandoned ship in the Suez Canal. Appointed legal guardian of the vessel, he was unable to leave until 2021. His story reads like a cross between Kafka and a modern-day Robinson Crusoe. The turbo roundabout, designed in the Netherlands, promises to eliminate accidents. Unlike ordinary roundabouts, this one forces each car to stay in a predetermined lane. This way, no one can change lanes, and traffic chaos is transformed into circular harmony. Actress Jennifer Tilly, famous for playing Chucky's bride, not only shown in horror films but also at the poker tables. She won more than $1 million in professional tournaments and was inducted into the Women's Poker Hall of Fame. She always says that poker gave her more of an adrenaline rush than any bloody scene. With her sweet voice and sharp wit, she became a cult figure. To this day, she continues to blend glamour, luck, and a touch of madness. In 2015, a group of Oxford scientists managed to keep a pig's brain alive outside its body for more than 36 hours. The experiment aimed to study neuronal activity, but people on the internet were already talking about the birth of the first zombie pig. Although the researchers clarified that there was no consciousness, the panic spread faster than the rumor itself. Some celebrated the medical advance, others wrote horror stories. Science always walks a fine line between wonder and fear. A woman in Florida sued McDonald's because her coffee was too hot, and she won. The liquid reached 194 degrees Fahrenheit, causing severe burns. The news traveled the world as if it were a joke, but it changed food safety regulations. Since then, all cups carry the warning, "Caution, contents may be hot." It seems incredible that someone had to suffer so much for common sense to be printed on a cardboard lid. In Japan, there is a hotel staffed almost entirely by robots called the Henna Hotel. From check-in to room service, everything is automated with unsettling-looking androids. The curious thing is that several were fired for their incompetence. They mistook snoring for emergencies and phone calls for alarms. Guests went from marveling at the technology to sleeping with one eye open. Artificial intelligence at times seems more artificial than intelligent. During World War II, the Fanta brand was born out of scarcity. Germany, isolated by the conflict, could not import the ingredients for the original Coca-Cola. Local chemists mixed leftover apples and buttermilk to create a new beverage. They named it Fanta, short for fantasy. Ironically, a war gave rise to one of the world's most colorful soft drinks. Astronauts can grow up to 2 inches taller in space. The lack of gravity stretches the spine, although the effect disappears upon returning to Earth. It sounds like a dream for short people, but it also causes severe back pain. Many astronauts joke that growing hurts. Literally. Floating has its price, even among the stars. In Egypt, archaeologists discovered an intact sarcophagus more than 2,500 years old, and social media begged them not to open it. But of course they did. Inside were 3 mummies and a red liquid that many users urged them to drink to gain powers. The result was less epic. It was just water with iron oxide. No magic, no curse, just guaranteed diarrhea. Every year, 80% of the keys manufactured worldwide do not open any doors. They are forgotten duplicates, useless copies, or factory errors. Millions of keychains contain pieces of metal with no purpose. Perhaps it is a modern metaphor. We carry around things we do not need simply out of habit. Sometimes the lock we are looking for does not even exist. In South Korea, there is a theme park dedicated exclusively to sex called Loveland. Erotic sculptures, educational workshops, and souvenir shops impossible to describe without blushing. It was created for newlyweds visiting Jeju Island. Today, it is one of the country's most popular attractions. Selfies there are not exactly Facebook-worthy. In Iceland, horses cannot return to the country once they leave. The law aims to prevent the introduction of equine diseases, though the outcome sounds tragic. If an Icelandic horse competes abroad, it is exiled forever. It is a kind of animal banishment, sad but necessary. In Iceland, not even horses escape the rules of isolation. In 2006, a boy named Jude Sparks accidentally discovered a mammoth fossil in New Mexico. He tripped over a tusk while playing near the river. What appeared to be an ordinary bone turned out to be a nearly complete 10,000-year-old skeleton. Since then, the area has borne his name. Sometimes, history catches up with you when you are just playing around. In Scotland, it is illegal to ride a cow while drunk. The law dates back to 1872, when many farmers used cows for transportation. It is still in effect today, even though it seems like a joke. Technically, you might lose your dignity before your license. A reminder that stupidity also leaves its mark on legal codes. In ancient Rome, urine was a valuable commodity. It was collected in public jars and used as a detergent for washing togas. The natural ammonia left the clothes white and gleaming, although the smell must have been unbearable. There were even taxes on its collection. In Rome, even misery could be profitable. In the Middle Ages, a kiss was considered a legal contract. If two people kissed in public, they could be considered married. Some used it as an excuse to escape forced marriages. Others regretted it for the rest of their lives. Back then, a kiss could cost you more than a divorce. Love or mistake, both sealed with lips. In 1958, an American nuclear bomb was lost off the coast of Georgia and was never recovered. The plane carrying it crashed, and the bomb was buried at the bottom of the sea. To this day, it remains there, inactive, or so they say. Locals call it the sleeping bomb, a radioactive slumber that no one dares to disturb. In 2007, a man in Germany tried to rob a store using a Star Wars lightsaber. The problem was, it was plastic. Employees easily subdued him as he shouted Darth Vader lines. He was arrested, but he won the sympathy of the internet. At least he proved that the Force is not always with you. The air we breathe contains particles of the breath of millions of people from the past. Scientifically, some exhaled molecules can remain floating in the atmosphere for centuries. You might be inhaling a molecule today that Cleopatra once breathed, or Elvis, or your neighbor from 3 centuries ago. A poetic and somewhat unsettling reminder that everything is connected. Meet Shin, a Japanese magician capable of manipulating cards that burn with real fire. This is not digital effects or smoke and mirrors. He covers his hands with a mixture of soap and butane to prevent burns. Even so, the trick is extremely dangerous, and only someone with his precision can pull it off. Every flash of flame makes his magic a literal spectacle. Just do not try to replicate this at home. This is the Adel chair, a wheelchair that redefines mobility with its multifunctional design. It can raise, recline, lie down, or even allow the user to stand completely upright, adapting to every need. Its ergonomic structure gives independence to people with reduced mobility, combining technology with comfort. It is not just a chair, it is an experience of freedom. And visually, it looks like something out of the future. What you see is a gyroscope called Rhoda, made of aluminum and designed to be a relaxing desktop object. Simply pull its string and watch it spin on almost any surface with hypnotic smoothness. Its continuous movement seems endless, ideal for relieving stress at the office. Furthermore, its metallic finish blends seamlessly with any environment. A minimalist gem of engineering, these 3-dimensional printed shells were created by Japanese artist Akin Mota for hermit crabs. Unlike those found on beaches, these are shaped like buildings, temples, and even a mini replica of New York City. The most surprising thing is that crabs seem to prefer them. It is as if nature has found its interior designer, a blend of art, science, and tenderness. What you are seeing is the Airfish 8, a hybrid yacht and airplane capable of skimming 20 feet above the water. It can reach speeds of up to 112 miles per hour, tripling the speed of a conventional vessel. Its aerodynamic design makes it perfect for short routes or remote islands, like the Canary Islands. Because of its hybrid nature, it can only be piloted by someone who knows how to fly and sail. An airplane flying through the eye of a hurricane was filmed over the Gulf of Mexico during a scientific mission. The footage shows the pilots navigating the turbulence until they enter the eye of the storm, a calm space surrounded by walls of rain. Only the bravest could remain calm there, a pure portrait of human courage in the face of nature. This modified Bentley has tracks instead of wheels and was nicknamed the Bentley Ultra Tank. It combines British luxury with the ruggedness of a military tank. It can effortlessly traverse snow, mud, or sand, and its appearance commands respect on any terrain. It is the Frankenstein of cars, elegant, monstrous, and utterly captivating. This is how Pringles potato chips are born. First, tons of potatoes are crushed into a uniform paste. Then they are pressed into identical molds to achieve their perfect shape and baked until crispy. Each one is a clone of the previous one, which is why they fit precisely into their tubes. Industrial production can be so precise that it resembles edible modern art. The Shockwave jet truck is the fastest truck on the planet. With 3 jet engines, it can cover a quarter mile in 6 seconds and reach speeds faster than a commercial airliner. During races, it shoots flames several yards high and roars like a metallic dragon. It is such a brutal spectacle that it seems like a fusion of mechanics and hell. The picnic pizza robot can prepare 100 pizzas per hour without human intervention. It only needs someone to load the ingredients and program its touchscreen. In minutes, it produces dough, applies sauce, cheese, and toppings with mathematical precision. It was created in 2022 and is already being used in several restaurants. In the age of automation, even the pizza chef has robotic competition. Artist Li Hongbo created a garden of origami, folded paper weapons. More than 2,000 rifles and pistols make up an installation called Ocean of Flowers, symbolizing the contrast between war and beauty. Each weapon unfolds like a colorful accordion, transforming fear into art. It is a visual manifesto against violence, both poetic and devastating. The Arctic dolphin, an extremely rare species, inhabits the cold waters of the Arctic region. It has a small body and black and white skin reminiscent of orcas, although it belongs to a different genus. Only a few specimens have been recorded worldwide. Its rarity makes it an almost mythical biological treasure. Indonesian artist Aditya Arianto transforms photographs of animals into surreal works. He merges bodies with natural textures or geometric figures to create impossible creatures. He has designed cubic lions, liquid horses, and pixelated birds, many inspired by Minecraft. His works bridge the gap between biology and the digital world, where imagination replaces the rules of nature. In China, street vendors have transformed cotton candy into art. They create colorful figures with different layers of spun sugar, edible flowers, animals, and mandalas. Customers choose their design and watch it come to life before their eyes. It is food, entertainment, and popular culture, all in a sweet spiral. The giant water bug known as the tipula measures up to 2.3 inches and often frightens those who see it for the first time. Despite its size, it is completely harmless. It does not bite because it does not even have mouth parts to do so. It lives in damp areas, and its sole purpose is to exist without disturbing others. Its bad reputation, once again, is purely superficial. Female octopuses throw objects at males when they are irritated. Sometimes they use shells, stones, or debris from the marine environment. Scientists believe this is a form of aggressive communication, something like saying, "Do not bother me" in aquatic language. Males rarely respond, perhaps out of wisdom or a survival instinct. In marine love, the female always wins. Artist Nick Zametti crafted a ukulele from colored pencils. Each instrument is sanded, polished, and assembled into a functional and vibrant piece. It is not just decorative, it plays perfectly in tune. The result blends music, art, and recycling into a single creation. Its colorful body resembles a singing work of art. YouTuber SKM built an Iron Man helmet using only cardboard. He drew each piece, cut it out, and assembled it by hand until he achieved a flawless replica. Despite the material, the finish is so neat it looks metallic. It is proof that with patience and creativity, even cardboard can become heroic. Newsprint is a sensory installation in a former 1930s cinema in Milan. Inside, a tree made of recycled aluminum releases bubbles of mist that burst upon contact with the skin. The experience blends art, technology, and relaxation, generating an almost hypnotic calm. It is an artificial forest where silence also breathes. A programmer named Hailey Tong took Minecraft to another level by creating a hyper-realistic mod for the game. The textures, shadows, and reflections are so detailed that it is hard to believe it is a world of blocks. Light bounces, water sparkles, and leaves move in the wind. A dream come true for pixel art fans. In the Chinese city of Kunming, 15 skyscrapers were demolished simultaneously in a controlled explosion. The towers, abandoned for years, collapsed in perfect synchronicity like a concrete choreography. The roar was monumental, but the execution flawless. Thus ends one era of concrete and begins another. British artist David Smith has been crafting mirrors by hand since 1990. His technique consists of pouring silver nitrate onto clean glass, distributing it with precision until a perfect reflective surface is achieved. The process, though slow, produces unique pieces. In times of mass production, his work shines for its patience. Boston Dynamics Spot robots demonstrated teamwork by moving an entire truck uphill. 10 of these machines advanced in sync, pulling the vehicle with mechanical force and mathematical precision. It is a glimpse into the future where robots collaborate with the coordination of an army, power, discipline, and technology. Engineer and former NASA employee Mark Rober created a rocket-propelled golf club. It can launch a ball at over 124 miles per hour and destroy a watermelon with a single swing. It is a blend of sport, science, and engineering madness. When physics is applied to golf, the results are explosive. The mantis, an insect from North Africa and Europe, looks like a simple branch until it moves. Its camouflage is so perfect that it can go unnoticed even by predators. The males are small and fly, the females larger and more upright. An elegant example of evolution in disguise. Archer is a running robot developed by the University of Tokyo in its Ishikawa Guanab laboratory. It operates with a special camera that monitors its posture and constantly corrects it to maintain maximum balance. Thanks to this system, the device can reach surprising speeds, something unusual for robots of its kind, demonstrating an impressive advance in robotics and motion control. Its design allows us to observe how technology can mimic human mobility with great efficiency and precision. Buenos Aires boasts the most stadiums of any city in the world, with a total of 18 professional football venues, a figure unmatched by any other city on the planet. If we include stadiums within the metropolitan area, the number rises to 36, reflecting the immense passion for football that characterizes Argentina. Each stadium bears witness to the intensity of the crowds and the devotion this sport inspires in the local culture, solidifying the city's status as a renowned football epicenter. Incredibly, Albert Einstein's eyes were given to his ophthalmologist Henry Abrams after his death as a personal keepsake. This curious relic, now believed to be stored in a safe deposit box in New York, has generated fascination and wonder due to the story behind this unique gesture. It represents a singular bond between the scientist and his doctor and continues to be an object of mystery and curiosity for historians and Einstein admirers. Adorable dachshunds participated in an impromptu Olympic Games to pay tribute to the 2020 Tokyo Games. The pups competed in swimming, high jump, track and field, wrestling, and fencing, and their feats quickly went viral. These images showcase the animals' coordination and effort, eliciting smiles and amazement from viewers around the world and demonstrating that even the most unexpected activities can become global entertainment. M Rover's liquid sand jacuzzi combines sand with bursts of air to behave like a fluid in a tub, creating a mesmerizing visual spectacle. The sand bubbles and flows like water, offering a hypnotic and fun experience. This experiment demonstrates how physics can be transformed into visual entertainment, and the YouTuber's creativity allows viewers to enjoy a natural phenomenon from a completely new and surprising perspective. In Seoul, Korea, there is an epic marble run over 108 feet long, where marbles slide down to a huge pile of white balls. The attraction is visually stunning, combining aesthetics and dynamic movement in an optical effect that captivates all who see it. This creation demonstrates how physics and creativity can come together to generate interactive and fascinating experiences that surprise young and old alike. India is the country with the most readers in the world, with an average of 10 hours and 42 minutes dedicated to reading each week. Since 2005, it has maintained first place in this habit, followed by Thailand, China, and the Philippines. This fact reflects the importance of reading in Indian culture and how the habit of staying informed and entertained through books remains a priority in modern society, even in the face of global digitalization. German scientists taught cows to use the toilet to reduce the environmental impact of their waste, which generates greenhouse gases and pollutes the soil and water. The cattle learned to use latrines instead of grazing, demonstrating their ability to acquire new habits. This curious experiment combines animal intelligence and environmental stewardship, showcasing creative solutions to ecological problems through cooperation between humans and animals. Some icebergs exhibit colors other than white or blue, with greenish hues caused by iron oxides from rock dust mixed with the ice. This phenomenon creates stunning visual effects, transforming natural landscapes into true works of art. Observing these icebergs allows us to appreciate the interaction between geological and climatic elements and how nature can surprise us with unusual nuances that challenge our conventional perception. David Lee is the creator of Elastic Man, an entertaining online game made in HTML5 that works in all modern browsers. The site allows you to deform characters like Rick and Morty in a fun way, offering minutes of guaranteed entertainment. This example shows how programming and digital creativity can generate interactive, playful experiences, introducing users to new forms of fun through simple technological resources. The Expedition 53 crew successfully prepared pizzas in space, where microgravity causes the ingredients to float within the cabin. This activity demonstrates human adaptation to extreme conditions and how even everyday tasks like cooking become a fun challenge. Preparing food in space highlights the astronauts' creativity and ability to maintain their routine and entertainment while facing complex and unique environments. A spectacular display of 500,000 dominoes was created by Siger Domino Entertainment, with figures falling over nearly 9 minutes. 22 experts worked for more than 2 weeks to achieve this impressive event. This display demonstrates the patience, precision, and coordination necessary to create stunning visual effects, surprising viewers and highlighting how collaboration can generate extraordinary results in artistic projects. An animatronic Abraham Lincoln is striking in its realism, capable of human expressions such as moving eyebrows, eyes, and gestures of emotion. It can simulate sadness, surprise, disagreement, and even speak while making these movements, creating a convincing and somewhat unsettling effect. This technology demonstrates how engineering and robotics can recreate historical figures in great detail, bringing the public closer to educational and visually stunning experiences. Millions of Fantal flat beset dragonflies migrate annually from India to Africa, crossing more than 4,350 miles of the Atlantic Ocean. This is the longest insect migration ever recorded, showcasing the resilience and organization of these tiny travelers. Their journey is an extraordinary example of natural adaptation and survival, allowing for the study of far-reaching biological phenomena that defy imagination and reveal the secrets of animal life. A cardboard drone was built as a small-scale model of the quadcopter helicopter, using only cardboard and hot glue. Although it cannot fly, its handcrafted finish is remarkable, and reflects the effort and detail put into its construction. This project demonstrates how imagination and manual dexterity allow for the recreation of complex objects with simple materials, transforming a static model into an impressive example of creativity applied to engineering. Nissan's Pilot Chair is an autonomous self-propelled chair designed to make waiting in lines at shopping malls or restaurants more enjoyable. The chair detects the user's weight, automatically moving to the front or returning to the back when the user is released. This innovation combines comfort, technology, and entertainment, transforming an everyday situation into an interactive experience and demonstrating how robotics can be applied to objects that appear simple but are functionally advanced. The cleaner shrimp is a creature that keeps other animals clean, from fish and turtles to sharks and eels. To ensure it is not eaten, it performs special dances that signal friendly and efficient service. Its behavior reflects the complex interaction between species and how nature has developed ingenious methods of cooperation and survival, making this small crustacean a curious example of mutualism in marine ecosystems. The midnight sun is a phenomenon that allows the sun to be seen for 24 hours as the summer solstice approaches. In Norway, for example, it can be seen from April 25th to August 18th, and it also occurs in Alaska, Canada, and Greenland. During this period, the sun reaches the horizon but never sets, offering a unique natural spectacle that impresses with its continuity and beauty, and which has been observed by generations of inhabitants and visitors of the Northern Hemisphere. The shrimp eel is a species that burrows and swims under the sand of beaches, common in coastal areas but difficult to spot. Despite its fearsome appearance, it is harmless to humans and remains hidden most of the time. Its ability to burrow and move in this environment demonstrates surprising evolutionary adaptations, making it a fascinating example of how species can specialize in specific niches to survive and thrive in particular ecosystems. The K2 clock is a time-based work of art created by Ben W.B., which uses grids of LED lights to display the time in letters. Its futuristic design combines innovation, craftsmanship, and visual poetry, transforming the perception of time into an interactive aesthetic object. This clock demonstrates how technology and art can merge to offer unique sensory and conceptual experiences, redefining how we interpret and visualize the passage of time. The Berezovka is a Russian dance in which the participants appear to float as they move, using steps so smooth they seem to be walking on wheels. The dancers wear long dresses to conceal their feet, enhancing the visual effect and the feeling of weightlessness. This folk dance is distinguished by the precision and elegance of its movements, combining cultural tradition with a hypnotic spectacle that impresses with the grace and harmony of each choreography. Sidney Lewis was the youngest soldier to participate in World War I, enlisting at age 12 and fighting in France during the Battle of Z. After 6 weeks, his age was discovered and he was sent home. His story reflects the intensity and dangers of armed conflict, as well as the surprising bravery and determination of a boy who faced extreme circumstances, leaving a historical legacy that continues to fascinate those who study war and its protagonists. The Pennsylvanian shrew, Microtus pennsylvanicus, is a small rodent of the Chrysatidae family with gray fur at the base and yellow and orange tips that inhabits humid forests. Its appearance is reminiscent of a small shrew, and its soft fur makes it adorable. These characteristics, combined with its natural behavior, make it a charming example of the diversity of terrestrial fauna, showing how even the smallest animals possess fascinating aesthetic and functional adaptations. Another curious challenge is drinking Coca-Cola underwater. When you open the bottle, a small amount of soda spills out, but most of it remains contained. For many people, drinking directly from the bottle can be tricky due to the pressure and the gas bubbles. A practical solution is to use a straw, which makes the experience easier and allows you to enjoy the soft drink without spills. This experiment demonstrates how a simple change in technique can overcome a seemingly impossible challenge. Let us meet Master Milo, a Dutch YouTuber who created an all-terrain vehicle in just 1 week. This innovative individual usually uploads all kinds of inventions to his channel, and this time he used a huge but lightweight aluminum frame as a base. He added a Honda GX 160 engine, a steering system, internal tires, and alloy wheels, combining strength and functionality. His creations show how amateur engineering can produce robust and amazing vehicles with readily available resources and applied creativity. Diamond Beach, located in Iceland, is a place that dazzles with its natural beauty. On its shores lie ice forests and fragments of ice smoothed by the ocean and polished by black volcanic sand. Sunlight makes each fragment sparkle like a diamond, creating an unforgettable visual spectacle. These formations originate from nearby glaciers, from which chunks break off and end up on the beach, making it a world-renowned tourist attraction for its breathtaking and unique landscapes. The fujara is a large Slovak musical instrument, ranging from 5 feet 7 inches to 6 feet 7 inches in length. It is played in certain regions of Slovakia, and its use has declined due to the difficulty of playing it. In 2008, it was declared an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Its unique design and sound reflect the richness of European musical tradition and the importance of preserving historical instruments that form part of a country's cultural identity. Some Tesla vehicles offer the ability to customize the engine and horn sounds. Thanks to smart features, owners can upload sounds to the platform or choose from preset sounds. This feature allows you to customize the car to your personal taste, making the driving experience unique. Innovations like this show how modern technology can be integrated with fun and personalization elements in everyday products. A man also created a violin made from nails inserted into a piece of wood. When a bow is drawn across it, the nails vibrate and produce a sound similar to that of taut strings. Although it does not have the conventional shape of a violin, the acoustic result is surprisingly similar. This experiment reflects creativity applied to music, combining ingenuity, unusual materials, and technique to obtain unexpected but effective sounds. Another technological curiosity is the Toshiba WW2112, a typewriter with a cylinder instead of a keyboard containing Japanese, Chinese, and Roman characters. This design became popular shortly before conventional keyboards dominated the market. The complexity of the device and its rarity make it a fascinating collector's item, showing how the evolution of technology can leave ingenious but forgotten devices behind. A YouTuber also created an Iron Man bust using matchsticks. He first 3D printed the helmet, then added modeling clay and glued the matchsticks on one by one before painting and finally burning them. This process demonstrates how combining modern and traditional techniques can generate unique and surprising artistic results, reflecting creativity, patience, and precision. There are cars capable of changing color according to their temperature, thanks to thermochromic paints. These paints become transparent with heat, revealing a background color, and regain their opacity when the temperature drops. Vehicles with this technology, such as the Rion RE90, combine aesthetics and advanced science, showcasing the interaction between automotive design and chemistry applied to everyday high-tech products. The Rion RE90 is also the world's fastest electric scooter, reaching speeds of up to 79 miles per hour. Its rigid steering system allows riders to feel the road surface and maneuver more safely. Constructed with military-grade materials, it offers long-lasting performance. This type of transportation combines speed, precision, and durability, reflecting how modern engineering can redefine the limits of personal mobility. In Austria, the Vienna Vegetable Orchestra is a unique musical ensemble where carrots, zucchini, celery, and peppers become instruments. The musicians carve each vegetable just before playing, creating improvised flutes and drums. After the concert, the scraps end up in a shared soup. On the coast of Zadar, Croatia, a sea organ transforms the movement of the waves into melodies. Architect Nikola Basic devised this system of pipes hidden beneath stone steps. The sea pushes the air and produces harmonic sounds without human intervention. The electric diode violin breaks the mold of traditional music. Its soundbox is replaced by circuits and small diodes that convert vibrations into electrical impulses. Each note acquires a digital timbre that can be modified instantly. In the Luray Caverns of Virginia, stalactites become part of a monumental organ. Each key activates rubber hammers that strike the rock to generate notes. Engineer Leland W. sprinkled dedicated years to searching for formations with precise tones. The Picasso guitar surprises with 42 strings distributed across 6 different necks. Created by Linda Manzer for Pat Metheny, it combines abstract design inspired by Pablo Picasso with musical innovation. Its complexity makes it difficult to tune and master. In return, it produces dense harmonies and sounds impossible on a conventional guitar. In the past, corn cobs served as a substitute for toilet paper. In rural areas of the United States, their texture and shape were practical for hygiene and open latrines. They were reusable and abundant during the harvest. Hungarian architect Erno Rubik devised his famous cube as an exercise to study three-dimensional movement. After accidentally scrambling it, it took him more than a month to solve it for the first time. Over time, the object became an iconic puzzle and a worldwide phenomenon. Today, competitors solve it in as little as 5 seconds. The first filmed solar eclipse occurred in 1900 thanks to British astronomer Neville Maskelyne. With a camera adapted to a telescope, he managed to capture the phenomenon in North Carolina. The task required precise calculations to avoid missing the exact moment. That brief video marked a turning point between science and cinema. Tarantulas are astonishing in their swimming ability. Their hairy legs allow them to propel themselves through the water like natural oars. Some Amazonian species frequently cross streams in search of food. Although their appearance is imposing, they rarely show aggression during these movements. The chrysalis of the Titharia terracina butterfly resembles a living jewel. Its bud glows emerald green with metallic golden details, a product of light refraction. This radiance deceives predators, mimicking a precious object. The natural transformation acquires an artistic air worthy of admiration. In Pompeii, a mosaic was found with the inscription, Cave Canem, a warning meaning beware of the dog. The image depicted a chained dog at the entrance of a house, a measure to deter visitors or intruders. It proves that protective customs transcend eras and cultures. Hybrids called zebralos and zebrasnos are born from crosses between zebras and horses or donkeys. Their bodies combine striped and smooth areas depending on the parent. These animals, generally sterile, are often bred in captivity for scientific or tourist interest, demonstrating partial genetic compatibility among equines. The Vein Viewer device projects a real-time map of the veins under the skin. Its infrared light system detects hemoglobin and reflects it onto the body's surface. It is useful in hospitals for inserting needles into patients with difficult-to-access veins. It reduces failed attempts and unnecessary discomfort. The tropical plant Jatropha curcas produces seeds capable of generating biodiesel. It grows even in arid soils where other crops fail. Its lifespan exceeds half a century with multiple harvests annually. Although toxic for human consumption, it has expanded as an energy alternative in Africa, India, and Latin America. Lua is a smart planner that turns plants into virtual pets. A front screen displays animated faces that express needs for water, light, or temperature. Its sensors monitor the soil, environment, and solar radiation. Connected to a mobile app, it educates and entertains its owners simultaneously. In Warsaw, Poland, the Carrot House was built, measuring just 36 inches at its narrowest point. Designed as an art project, it includes a kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, and workspace. The writer Edgar Carrot was its first resident. Today it symbolizes creativity and urban adaptation in small spaces. In the 1950s, Dodge introduced the La Femme model aimed at a female audience. The car included a handbag, umbrella, and cosmetics combined with a pink and white interior. However, many women considered it a superficial offering. Over time, it became a curious example of marketing failure. The Arabian sand boa camouflages itself beneath the desert surface, leaving only its eyes visible. Its compact body measures about 16 inches, and it is not venomous. It can move as if swimming through grains of sand. It is feared more for its appearance than for its actual behavior. The wallet test analyzes social honesty. Researchers left hundreds of wallets with money in more than 40 countries. Surprisingly, those with larger sums were returned more often. The result was repeated in places like Switzerland and Norway, challenging prejudices about financial temptations. Human blonde hair appeared due to a genetic mutation about 11,000 years ago in Northern Europe. Its presence facilitated the synthesis of vitamin D in areas with little sunlight. An attraction to unusual features may also have played a role. Today, barely 2% of the world's population retains natural blonde hair. Sumiko Iwamuro, known as DJ Sumirock, began mixing music in Tokyo clubs at the age of 77. By day, she ran her gyoza restaurant, and by night, she lit up the dance floor with techno. At 83, she achieved the Guinness World Record for the oldest professional DJ. Her story is inspiring at any age. Belonia ventricosa, also called bubble algae, stands out as one of the largest single-celled organisms on the planet. It can reach up to 2 inches in size and is visible without a microscope. It lives in tropical seas attached to corals and rocks. Its bright green color comes from the chloroplast it contains. Neil Harbison is recognized as the first cyborg in history. He was born with achromatopsia, which prevented him from seeing colors, but in 2004, with the help of doctors, he had an antenna implanted in his brain. This antenna allows him to perceive colors, including infrared and ultraviolet, and even hear the frequency of each one. In addition, the antenna gives him the ability to watch videos, listen to music, and even receive calls directly on his head. Kjærgaardsbolten is a gravity-defying natural wonder, suspended about 3,300 feet high in the Norwegian fjords. Despite its unsettling appearance, it is firmly wedged between two cliffs, which keeps it stable. With a volume of about 176 cubic feet, it has become a popular tourist destination, where brave souls take photos on it, despite the dizzying abyss that surrounds it. The oldest tree in the world is not a towering giant. It is called Methuselah, a bristlecone pine over 4,800 years old, living somewhere secret in California's White Mountains for its protection. Its seeds already existed when the Egyptians were building the pyramids, making it a silent witness to human history. And speaking of trees, squirrels, despite their reputation as excellent foragers, are responsible for planting thousands of trees every year. This is because they bury their nuts and acorns and simply forget where they put them. And if you think that is strange, imagine an Argentine duck with a penis as long as its body, or the fact that some chicken species can naturally change sex if a female's ovary is damaged and the dormant male sex organ is activated. Crocodiles do not just cry. Their crying is a physiological response when saliva accumulates in their tear ducts while they eat. That is why the saying, "crocodile tears," became popular to refer to hypocrisy. A curious fact about saliva: it contains a substance called opioorphin, which is an analgesic up to 6 times more potent than morphine. Although the amount is minuscule, it is a reminder of the incredible pharmacy that is our own body. Ketchup, now a staple condiment, was sold in the 19th century as a medicine to treat indigestion and diarrhea. And speaking of food, the oldest cheese in the world was found in an Egyptian tomb and is over 3,200 years old. It was made with sheep's and goat's milk. On another note, It is a myth that bulls are enraged by the color red. In fact, they are colorblind. What irritates them is the constant movement of the cape. In Poznan, Poland, the Poznań Ice Festival transforms the market square into a frozen stage. Artists from around the world carve sculptures from blocks of ice in front of the public. It is an unmissable visual experience that attracts both locals and tourists. On a more modern note, there is an experiment that has bus drivers pedaling bicycles while a bus passes by. This allows them to experience firsthand how dangerous it is not to respect the distance from cyclists. In the arts, Tanya Gomelskaya stands out, an artist who fuses painting and sculpture to create three-dimensional works. Her pieces leap off the canvas, exploring emotions like anxiety and playing with surreal textures. In motorcycle safety, there is a helmet windshield wiper. This small, electric, and rechargeable device removes water from the visor and improves visibility in adverse weather conditions. Technology has also reached body art with LED tattoos. These luminous designs use microcircuits and sensors to interact with the body, responding to movements or heart rate, and are emerging as both aesthetic and medical tools. Pure adrenaline is experienced in the sphere of death, where motorcyclists perform stunts inside a spherical metal structure. Thanks to centrifugal force, they defy gravity as they cross paths without colliding. Meet Benjamin Shine, an artist who works magic with tulle. Her sculptures and portraits are born from the simple folding and ironing of fabric, exploring themes such as energy and spirituality. She has collaborated with Maison Margiela and exhibited in museums around the world. The CH-47 Chinook is a twin-rotor military helicopter with an astonishing cargo capacity, up to 10 tons. Ideal for transporting troops and equipment across difficult terrain. More curiosities. The Janus tortoise, which has two heads, was born with a condition called bicephaly. Although they share a shell, both heads can act independently. Its name comes from the two-faced Roman god. A true inspiration is Adriana Macias, a Mexican speaker and writer who was born without arms. She uses her feet to perform everyday tasks and motivates others with her message of overcoming adversity, empowerment, and self-love. And speaking of risk, the human cannonball, Luis Munoz, launches himself from a gunpowder-free cannon using compressed air. This act requires precision and extreme physical training. One of the most breathtaking attractions in the circus. Pushing the boundaries of extreme technology, the Terminator robot combines a canine form with surveillance functions. It is equipped with cameras, motion sensors, and even a flamethrower. Perfect for patrolling difficult areas, it moves with agility and transmits data in real time. And speaking of photos, Claudio Piccoli is an Italian photographer who specializes in capturing dogs in motion. Internationally renowned, he shares images brimming with energy and emotion. He also teaches his technique through workshops and online courses. At the crossroads of culture and pop art, the Pokémon X Koge exhibition unites the Pokémon universe with traditional Japanese techniques. Ceramics, weaving, and metalwork are combined with Pikachu and friends. The result is a fusion of the contemporary and the ancestral that celebrates Japanese creativity. Returning to the animal kingdom, the teacup pig is a miniature version of traditional pigs. Weighing no more than about 66 pounds, they win hearts with their cuteness. They are intelligent and trainable, but require special care to maintain their health and well-being. From West Africa, the Zangbeto dance blends the spiritual with the artistic. These traditional guardians spin in conical straw costumes, completely concealing the person embodying them. Their dances, accompanied by ceremonial music, command respect and mystery. Now check this fact about the Abode of the Gods, located in Cusco, Peru. This sculptural space pays tribute to the Inca worldview with monumental figures carved in stone. Created by the artist Michael de Teton, it unites contemporary art with the mystical landscapes of the Andes. Moving from design to entertainment, The YouTuber Laser Gadgets created a laser gun that looks like it came straight out of a science fiction movie. The most incredible thing is that it can pop balloons using a powerful blue beam. In the world of motorsports, Luis Rodriguez, a fan from New Jersey, created a life-size Hot Wheels car to celebrate the brand's 50th anniversary. It took him more than a year to build the body entirely by hand. From Russia, we travel to Switzerland, where the Animal robot was designed by engineers from ETH Zurich and Beek. This quadruped can walk or roll depending on the terrain, overcoming obstacles with ease. Meanwhile, an artist called Rescue and Restore restored a rusted clown bench, removing every trace of decay. The result was as striking as it was terrifying, because the clown is still frightening. But if you prefer something visually stunning, Tobias Gremler digitized kung fu movements to transform them into abstract figures using motion capture technology. A pure visual spectacle. Still on the subject of technology, Ian Davis created his own metallic-looking myoelectric prosthesis. Inspired by Terminator, he designed a hand capable of moving its fingers and producing mechanical sounds when flexed. Meanwhile, Sylvia, a contestant on America's Got Talent, stunned everyone by shooting a crossbow at her own head. And the best part? She hit the apple perfectly. Taking to the streets of Frankfurt, athlete Jason Paul performed a parkour course in reverse. The Red Bull team then edited the footage to create an illusion that defies logic. Now, have you ever seen a crack filled with people? Spanish artist Pijac drew thousands of human figures to simulate a crack in the facade of the Marqués de Valdecilla Hospital in Santander. It became a symbol of resilience during the height of the pandemic. Wasps also have their own unique creations. Some species build nests that glow under ultraviolet light. Scientists are still investigating why these insects make such luminous nests. The creator human controller designed a Rubik's Cube that can float and be solved using only magnetic fields. It seems like magic, but it is pure engineering. Japanese researchers at Keio University created a robotic tail for humans called Arke. They claim it improves balance, just like in animals. Actor Tom Cruise trained for a full year to perform a scene in which he jumps off a cliff on a motorcycle in Mission Impossible, and he repeated it 6 times. In a more bizarre creation, Danny Huan built an animatronic tricycle with a chainsaw as its base. The assembled robot looks like something out of a comedic horror film. What happens if you blow out a tire 66 feet below a frozen lake? The Beyond the Press channel tried it, and the result was a unique visual explosion. Matt Tomasello built a skateboard that transforms mid-trick. Its sections twist and return to their original shape, allowing him to perform maneuvers that seem straight out of science fiction. Among the strangest mammals, platypuses are a true anomaly. They are the only venomous mammals. The males have spurs on their hind legs that release a venom potent enough to cause excruciating pain in humans. And to top it all off, despite being mammals, they lay eggs. The speed of rain on Earth is not all that impressive, as the maximum speed at which a raindrop can fall is 18 miles per hour. Air resistance acts as a brake to prevent us from being rained down. Coca-Cola was originally sold as a brain tonic to cure headaches. Its inventor, John Pemberton, a pharmacist, marketed it in 1886. At that time, the drink contained cocaine, but it was removed in 1903. And the chewing gum we know today was invented from a substance called chicle, which is the sap of a tree that the Maya and Aztecs used to chew. Wedding rings also have a curious history. The ancient Egyptians believed that the ring finger of the left hand had a vein, the vena amoris, or vein of love, that went directly to the heart. Although modern anatomy has shown this to be untrue, the tradition has persisted to this day. And if you thought fingerprints were unique, there is a medical rarity called adermatoglyphics, a genetic condition that causes people to be born without fingerprints. It is extremely rare and is popularly known as the immigrant disease, since those affected have trouble passing through customs without this biometric identification. Michelangelo's David is one of the most famous sculptures in the world, but one small detail is often overlooked. David's right hand is disproportionately large. Art historians believe this was not a mistake, but a deliberate decision by Michelangelo to emphasize David's strength, as he was known in the Bible for his strong hand. And finally, the artist Banksy, the world's most famous graffiti artist, is a mysterious figure. His true identity remains a secret, even though his works sell for millions of dollars. His graffiti often appears in unexpected places and is removed or covered up as quickly as it appears, which only adds to its value. In 2018, at auction, one of Banksy's works, Girl with Balloon, self-destructed via a hidden mechanism in the frame seconds after being sold for $1.4 million. What was thought to be a catastrophe for the buyer actually doubled the artwork's value. The famous philosopher Socrates wrote nothing. Everything we know about his ideas and life comes from the writings of his disciples, primarily Plato. This has led historians to question whether the ideas we attribute to him are truly those of Socrates or those of his brilliant student. Elsewhere in the world, tuk-tuk races in Sri Lanka take these three-wheeled vehicles across extreme terrain: jungles, rivers, mud, and mountains. Breakdowns are common, so the team must be ready to make repairs instantly. Switching to the monumental, Northeast Greenland's national park is so vast that it surpasses countries like Venezuela in size. There is no permanent human population, but there are species adapted to the frigid Arctic Circle. And if it is about seeing the invisible, the Schlieren system, or lining, allows us to visualize heat or gases that we do not normally perceive. Using mirrors, cameras, and light, it reveals phenomena such as the hot air from a clothes dryer in operation. Chile was the site of the most powerful earthquake ever recorded, the Valdivia earthquake of 1960. It reached a magnitude of 9.5, lasted more than 10 minutes, and was followed by a tsunami that caused thousands of deaths. High in China, the Red Cloud and Golden Summit temples rise atop Mount Fanjing. To reach them, you have to climb 9,000 steps and cross a bridge between peaks. The pygmy marmoset is the smallest monkey on the planet. It weighs just about 4 ounces and measures about 6 inches, although its tail can be longer. It lives in the Amazon and feeds on plant sap. And yes, the Simpsons house exists. It was built in 1997 in Henderson, Nevada, as an exact replica of the house from the TV series. Today, it is a private home with more subdued colors and a garden covered in stones. In the world of sports, Julia Vins earned the nickname the Muscular Barbie. At just 24 years old, she managed to deadlift 600 pounds. She also studies law while preparing for new competitions. Her imposing physique and discipline have made her a global sensation. Richard Oliver, a 45-year-old painter from Los Angeles, creates oil landscapes so realistic they look like photographs. His technique comes from the 19th century French Impressionists, blending tones and colors with great mastery. Jay, known as Hydroman, performs underwater dance routines for 5 minutes in a 6-foot-deep pool. His talent has helped boost his music career, which is on the rise. The dugong, called the real-world mermaid, is a giant, gentle mammal that inhabits the Pacific and Indian Oceans. They are peaceful, preferring to be alone or in pairs, and their conservation is vital for the balance of marine ecosystems. Dylan Balog, nicknamed Brave Dylan, jumped from a bridge over 150 feet high and lived to tell the tale. Before jumping, he threw stones into the water to break the surface tension and thus avoid accidents. A Tesla Model S Plaid, one of the world's fastest electric cars, was almost completely submerged in water. Surprisingly, its electric motor works without the need for air, and the vehicle completed the journey almost like a submarine. Ursula Musch, a German woman living in the Dubai desert, cares for more than 40 camels. Without electricity or running water, she has adopted a Bedouin lifestyle and feels closer to her animals than to modern conveniences. The Madonna della Corona Church, built in 1530, is located on the slopes of Monte Baldo in Italy. It is a sanctuary suspended between heaven and earth, accessed by paths surrounded by nature that fascinate tourists and worshippers alike. Jan Håkan Eriksson is an artist who films himself popping balloons in various ways. His work combines creativity and fun, showcasing different objects and techniques for bursting balloons. The 90-meter-long yacht Olivia has a futuristic design with an inverted bow. Built in Germany in 2020 by Ulstein, it includes a cinema, swimming pool, gym, spa, and helipad, and is valued at 200 million euros. Kyle Marker, at about 6,560 feet, set his parachute on fire using a flare gun for an extra adrenaline rush. Fortunately, he had a spare parachute, which he deployed without incident. The Solkan Railway Bridge in Slovenia is the world's longest stone arch at 729 feet. Built in 1906 from limestone blocks, it withstood damage in World War I and has been fully restored. Hannah Grace, a former professional chef, now creates optical illusions with makeup. She uses shadows, tones, and angles to trick the eye and achieve stunning facial designs. In the Middle Ages, spices were a sign of wealth and status. A pound of pepper was sometimes more valuable than gold. Its high value fueled great expeditions as kingdoms sought new routes to reach the sources of these valuable commodities. Food is more than just sustenance. It has its own stories. For example, Campbell's tomato soup was not the company's first product. Initially, they sold canned asparagus. Tomato soup became popular thanks to the idea of an executive who realized that by concentrating the soup, people could simply add water to make it at home, making it very affordable. Banana bread arose from necessity in the United States. During the Great Depression, housewives did not want to waste ripe bananas. They began using the soft, almost rotten bananas to bake bread, which became a staple food during that time. Marshmallow fudge has a very different origin than the one we know today. Originally obtained from the roots of the marshmallow plant, it was used medicinally to soothe sore throats and inflammation. It was not until the late 19th century that production became industrialized to make the sweets we enjoy today. In Canada, an impressive sculpture, the Veiled Virgin, created by Giovanni Strazza, is preserved. It is so delicate that the marble appears to be a real veil over the Virgin's face. Its realism conveys a sense of gentleness that captivates all who behold it. In China, the Harbin Ice and Snow Festival transforms the city into a frozen spectacle. Giant sculptures made from blocks of the Songhua River shimmer with colorful lights. In addition to the sculptures, there are art competitions, winter sports, and cultural exhibitions. Sweet sapphire grapes, also called sapphire grapes, are distinguished by their elongated shape and almost black skin. Their sweet flavor makes them irresistible. Although they originated in California, they are also cultivated in countries like Italy, Spain, and Australia thanks to their ideal climates. Yopperlite stones may seem ordinary at first glance, but under ultraviolet light they reveal a dazzling display of colors. Their luster, due to the sodalite they contain, can range from yellow to vibrant red. These stones are highly coveted by collectors for their unique beauty. The giant rhinoceros beetle can measure up to about 7 inches. Native to Central and South America, it possesses surprising strength. It can lift 850 times its own weight. Males have a long horn for fighting over food or mates, although they are harmless to humans. There are farms dedicated exclusively to breeding cockroaches. These facilities have highly controlled temperature and humidity to optimize reproduction, and their offspring are used in the pharmaceutical, cosmetic, and food industries for their high protein content and medicinal properties. Moving from the laboratory to tradition, in countries like Austria, Germany, and Hungary, the Krampus parade is celebrated, featuring a creature that is half demon, half goat. The streets fill with characters in terrifying costumes, grotesque masks, and torches, creating a chilling yet festive atmosphere. And if we travel even further back in time, we find Anubis, the Egyptian god of death. With a human body and the head of a jackal, he guided souls to the final judgment and protected mummification rituals, making him a central figure in beliefs about the afterlife. In a very different setting, silent parties are quiet gatherings where each attendee listens to music through wireless headphones. Different music channels can be selected, and everyone can dance without disturbing the neighbors, a blend of technology and urban fun. Geta are traditional Japanese sandals associated with Tengu, mythical creatures from Japanese folklore. Unlike ordinary sandals, they have a single central prong, requiring considerable balance while walking. Made of wood with fabric straps, they were originally used to enhance stability and strength, and today are more of a cultural symbol than practical footwear. The golden scarab shines as if bathed in gold. Its transparent exoskeleton reflects light so intensely that it changes hue depending on its emotion or the angle of the light. This ability makes it an expert at camouflaging itself among leaves and branches. Speaking of unusual things, Eduardochi is a creation by KFC Spain that blends 90s nostalgia with modern marketing. It is a Tamagotchi-like device shaped like a chicken leg that is controlled through a cell phone. This idea resonates with millennials and Gen Z through humor and nostalgia. Wedding cake was not eaten in ancient times. In ancient Rome, the bride and groom married by breaking a barley loaf over the bride's head. This was done to bring good luck and fertility, and the crumbs were shared with the guests as a symbol of the union. The Oxford English Dictionary is the world's largest book. Published in 20 volumes, each contains more than 10,000 pages. It took over 70 years to complete, with the help of thousands of volunteers. Sports are an endless source of stories. Ping pong, or table tennis, has a rather unusual origin. It was invented in Victorian England as a form of indoor tennis. The paddles were corks, and the ball was a celluloid ball. The famous Ice Bucket Challenge was not just a simple internet game. Despite seeming like a fad, it helped the ALS Association raise more than $115 million in 2014. The challenge became so popular so quickly that in just a couple of months, it became a global movement. The most viewed video in YouTube history for a long time was not a pop song. It was Baby Shark, a children's song. Its viral success demonstrates the immense power of the children's audience on the platform, surpassing videos by artists like Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran, and reaching billions of views. The first viral video in history is considered to be Dancing Baby from 1996. It was a three-dimensional animation of a baby dancing to a song by the band Blue Suede. Although the video quality was low, its popularity spread through internet forums and emails before modern social media existed. The Crystal Man, a Chinese artist, holds the record for the person who has walked the farthest on broken glass. In 2019, he walked 1.5 kilometers across a bed of shattered glass without a single scratch. It is a feat that demonstrates mental strength over physical limitations. In 2021, a team of Japanese scientists achieved the world record for the fastest data transfer. They used a new fiber optic technology to transmit data at a speed of 319 terabits per second. At that speed, you could download the entire Netflix movie library in less than a second. Mobile phone use has radically changed our lives. On average, a person checks their phone 58 times a day. 75% of users check their phones at least once an hour, demonstrating the addiction we have developed to these devices. Swimming across the Atlantic Ocean is one of the most extreme feats. In 2011, French swimmer Benoit Lecomte attempted the feat of swimming across the ocean. He did not succeed in a single attempt, but swam 3,717 miles over 73 days. Despite not completing the crossing, his attempt helped collect scientific data and document ocean pollution. Mountaineer Reinhold Messner was the first person to summit Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen. His feat, achieved in 1978, proved that it was possible to reach the world's highest peak without the aid of oxygen tanks. The mountaineering community considered it one of the greatest achievements of the 20th century. The man who ran 100 marathons in 100 days is an example of human resilience. Ben Smith ran 100 marathons in 100 consecutive days in 2016, raising over £200,000 for the British charity Mind, which helps people with mental health issues. The world's richest woman has a story of overcoming adversity. Despite what one might think, Françoise Bettencourt-Meyers, the L'Oréal heiress, did not have an easy life. At one point, she had to fight in court to gain control of her inheritance, proving that wealth also comes with its own challenges. The largest number of people dancing simultaneously in one place was in India in 2021. Nearly 10,000 people gathered in Mumbai to dance to Don Omar's song Danza Kuduro for an hour. The world's largest diamond is the Star of Africa, which weighs 530.2 carats. It was discovered in 1905 in South Africa and is now part of the British Crown Jewels. It is so valuable that it is considered priceless. The oldest person to skydive is Dorothy Hoffman, who was 102 years old when she made a tandem jump. She said she did it to celebrate her birthday and felt more alive than ever. Specialty coffee has popularized brewing methods like pour-over. This process brings out the coffee's flavor and aroma notes more cleanly. Professional tasters can distinguish up to 500 different flavors in a well-prepared cup of coffee. Sourdough bread, which has gained popularity, is a very old type of bread. Its natural fermentation makes it easier to digest and more nutritious than commercial bread. Some bakers have maintained their sourdough starter for decades, passing it down from generation to generation. The trash tag challenge went viral in 2019. Thousands of people around the world posted photos of areas polluted by trash before and after cleaning them up. The challenge helped raise awareness about pollution and mobilize volunteers for cleanup efforts. The youngest person to climb Mount Everest is a 13-year-old American. Jordan Romero achieved this feat in 2010, surpassing the previous record of 16 years. Romero made the climb alongside his father and stepmother, becoming an inspiring example of perseverance. The largest number of people in a video conference was a milestone of the pandemic. The Guinness World Record is held by the Hindu Diaspora Conference in 2020, with 56,000 participants in a single Zoom call. This event demonstrated how technology could connect large audiences remotely. The record for the most prodigious memory belongs to Russian scientist Solomon Shurashevsky. He could memorize lists of thousands of words flawlessly and could recall a conversation word for word, no matter how much time had passed. The feat of climbing the Burj Khalifa without a harness was accomplished by French YouTuber and athlete Remy Lucidi, who tragically died in 2023. His attempt, which went viral on social media, sparked a major debate about extreme risks taken in pursuit of internet fame. Artificial intelligence is making inroads into music. A Google project, Magenta, created an AI called NSynth that can generate new sounds and melodies by combining the styles of different artists. It has not yet been used on a large scale, but it offers a glimpse into the future of music creation. The Arctic permafrost, the permanently frozen ground, is beginning to thaw. This not only releases enormous quantities of methane, a greenhouse gas, but is also unearthing ancient viruses and bacteria that have remained frozen for thousands of years. The world's fastest robot is called Cheetah. This robot, developed by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, can run at speeds of up to 62 miles per hour, making it faster than Usain Bolt himself. The world's most expensive perfume is called Clive Christian Numero 1 Imperial Majesty. A single bottle of this perfume, made with diamonds and gold, can cost more than $200,000. Only a handful have ever been produced and sold. The first book printed with movable type was the Gutenberg Bible. It was printed in the 15th century and is considered the most valuable book in the world. It is estimated that there are only 49 copies of this book in existence, and each one is worth millions of dollars. The clock on London's Big Ben stopped for the first time during World War II. Despite the German bombing raids, the clock only stopped for a few minutes before restarting, which was considered a symbol of British resilience. In 2005, French freediver Stéphane Mifsud set an incredible record by holding his breath underwater for over 11 minutes. The human body, when properly trained, can slow down vital functions and enter an oxygen-saving state similar to that of certain marine mammals. It is a true demonstration of what the mind and body can achieve together. The Guinness World Record for strength is held by Icelander Hafthor Bjornsson, known as the Mountain in Game of Thrones. He managed to deadlift 501 kilograms, surpassing historical records. To put that into perspective, it is like lifting a small car off the ground without assistance, a feat that combines genetics, extreme training, and discipline. Another amazing natural feat is that of the giant sequoia trees in California. These trees reach over 328 feet in height and can live for more than 3,000 years. Surviving storms, fires, and climate change for so long is a monumental achievement. One of them, called General Sherman, is the largest living organism on the planet by volume. The history of aviation also boasts unique records. In 2005, pilot Steve Fossett circumnavigated the globe in a single-flight airplane without refueling, a journey that lasted over 67 hours. It was a feat of endurance, engineering, and precision that marked a milestone in aerial exploration. African marathon runners also achieve astonishing feats. Eliud Kipchoge, from Kenya, managed to run a marathon in under 2 hours in 2019, although it was not officially ratified due to the event's conditions. Even so, he demonstrated that the human body can break barriers that once seemed insurmountable. Shariq Tovar, a young Colombian woman, can sleep for up to 70 days straight like something from a fairy tale. But it is not magic or laziness. She suffers from Kleine-Levin syndrome, also known as Sleeping Beauty syndrome, a rare neurological disorder. During these long sleeps, her body rests while her mind disconnects from the world. Upon waking, she sometimes does not even remember her family. Zinedine Zidane not only charmed audiences with his talent on the pitch, but also in film. He appeared in the fun movie Asterix at the Olympic Games, playing a very skillful Egyptian with the ball. In his scene, he steals the ball from a poor guy trying to impress a girl. Who would have thought Zizou also had acting talent, a star on and off the field? In Vietnam, there is a bridge that not only connects roads, but also puts on a show worthy of a movie. It is shaped like a dragon, and although it looks like a normal structure during the day, it transforms at night. Every weekend, this metallic dragon breathes fire for 2 minutes and then surprises everyone with a 3-minute jet of water. The rain room is a magical room where it rains without you getting wet, like having superpowers. Since 2018, this exhibit has traveled to museums around the world, astonishing everyone. The trick is a system with cameras that track your movements and stop the rain just before it touches you. The water is recycled and falls only where no one is standing. It is like walking in the rain without an umbrella and without a care in the world. Ashton Kutcher, known for his Hollywood roles, has an unusual physical characteristic. His 2 toes on his right foot are fused together. This is not a joke or glue, but a congenital condition. The index and ring toes of his foot form a kind of double toe. Although it is not visible at first glance, those who notice it are surprised by this peculiarity that makes him even more unique. In one of the most shocking scenes of Poltergeist, the famous mud pool, the skeletons you see are not props, but real ones. The production obtained 3 authentic skeletons from India, as they were cheaper than props. The actors who participated in the scene did not learn the truth until years after the premiere. In the Middle East, camel racing has a futuristic twist. The jockeys are robots. Especially in Qatar, these small androids ride well-trained and cared for camels like elite athletes. Since 2005, they have replaced human jockeys and are now remotely controlled. They even carry a walkie-talkie so the owner can talk to the camel during the race. Technology and tradition running side by side. Monty Benedetto has created a curious invention, a testicle cooler as he calls it. It connects to the air conditioner and through a hose directs cool air directly to the private parts. Although it may sound strange, the idea makes sense for those summer days when the heat seems unbearable. Simba, a goat born in Karachi, Pakistan, holds the title of having the world's largest ears, measuring about 21 inches long each. This unique feature has made her a sensation, attracting attention for her peculiarity. Although she is not an ordinary goat, her ear size makes her stand out from the rest. Extreme ironing is probably the most unusual sport you have ever heard of. Ironing clothes in extreme environments. From the top of a mountain to underwater or hanging from a statue, anything goes as long as there is an ironing board. Born in the United Kingdom in 1997, it blends domesticity with adrenaline. Ironing while skydiving? Yes, that counts too. A very creative way to get shirts perfectly pressed and full of excitement. Aristotelis Valaoritis, a 65-year-old Cypriot, danced with 319 glasses balanced on his head. Since 1995, he has been perfecting this unusual skill, moving without spilling a drop. With just 20 seconds of rhythm and balance, he surpassed the previous record of 270 glasses. A true dance juggler. Although they look like cuddly living teddy bears, slow lorises have a venomous side. They are the only known primates that produce toxins, thanks to a gland in their arm. When threatened, they lick this gland and bite, injecting the venom. In humans, it can cause anything from swelling to severe allergic reactions. Small, adorable, and deadly. In the village of Huangluo, China, women of the Yao ethnic group sport hair over 6.5 feet long, like real-life Rapunzels. For them, hair is a symbol of luck, longevity, and beauty, and they only cut it once in their lives. They also keep it dark and shiny with an ancient secret, washing it with rice water. Although it may look like a snake is yawning, it is actually doing something much more strategic. Just as an athlete stretches before a game, snakes open their mouths wide to align their jaws, especially after eating a large prey item. This yawn helps them prepare their jaws for the next action, whether it is eating or simply moving. The famous bathtub scene in Mary Poppins is not as magical as it seems. It is pure camera trickery. To create the effect of Emily Blunt vanishing into the water, the bathtub had a hole in the bottom, through which a slide was installed that took her to a safe area under the stage. To make it even more realistic, the bathtub was filled with bubbles. Do not worry, the slide was covered with soft mats so Emily would not get hurt while sliding down. In Seoul, South Korea, there is a cafe that turns reality into a cartoon. It is called Cafe Yeonam-dong 239-20, and its decor is completely inspired by minimalist illustrations. The walls, furniture, and objects are drawn in a way that makes you feel like you are inside a two-dimensional fairy tale. Visitors can take photos in this unique environment. It is like stepping into a comic book. Jumpy is a very special dog, trained by his owner to write his name with his paw. With a paintbrush in hand and blue paint, Jumpy demonstrates his artistic talent. His owner has patiently trained him to achieve this incredible trick. A maelstrom is a powerful whirlpool that forms when two currents meet, creating a moving vortex. In Viking times, these whirlpools were feared for their ability to sink large ships easily. Although modern ships are generally safe, cruise ships caught in one can still face giant waves. In extreme situations, a maelstrom can act like an underwater black hole, swallowing everything in its path. Imagine a phone so small it fits in the palm of your hand. The Zonko Tiny T1 is the world's tiniest mobile phone, as small as a thumb. Despite its size, it is fully functional. You can make calls and send messages without any problems. Weighing about half an ounce and measuring roughly 0.8 by 1.8 inches, it is so compact you would be surprised it still has room for a SIM card. Velox is an amazing robot from Player Energy Systems. capable of moving across almost any surface, including water. Its innovative design, featuring undulating fins, allows it to swim and crawl with ease. This robot has applications in rescue missions, exploration, and supply delivery in difficult terrain. Thanks to its versatility, it can adapt to different environments, from rocky ground to aquatic surfaces. In a surprising King Kong exhibit at the Empire State Building, the iconic New York Tower was transformed into a surreal stage set. The windows were replaced with monitors displaying breathtaking views of the city, while a pair of fake hands of the giant ape emerged from the top. In Florida, United States, a unique restaurant, McGuire's Irish Pub, has a rather peculiar tradition. Customers stick $1 bills on the walls or ceiling of the establishment. According to the restaurant, nearly $1 million adorn the place. In a gesture of solidarity, the owners decided to donate this impressive sum of money to help the victims of Hurricane Dorian. Julian Voss Andrie's sculptures appear solid, but they conceal a fascinating visual trick. From one angle, they look like solid steel figures. From another, they disappear. They are made with parallel sheets that play with light and perspective. It is like seeing a modern ghost merging with the landscape. Art that changes depending on where you look at it. Water bottles? So last season, Uho is an edible bubble that holds water in a membrane made of algae and plants. It was created by the company Skipping Rocks Lab as an eco-friendly alternative to plastic. You can drink it and then eat it. The Anantara Golden Triangle Resort in Thailand offers a unique experience with its transparent bubble rooms, perfect for observing elephants in their natural habitat. In addition to being a unique experience, part of the resort's profits go to a foundation dedicated to rescuing elephants in Asia. Rob Spence is a Canadian filmmaker who, after losing sight in his right eye due to an accident, decided to replace it with a wireless video camera, becoming a cyborg. At age 9, a shotgun accident caused permanent damage to his eye, leading to its removal in 2007. Instead of opting for a traditional prosthesis, he collaborated with engineers to create one. In 1992, Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan teamed up to record the iconic music video for Jam, one of the hits from Jackson's album Dangerous. This collaboration became a historic milestone, bringing together two of the most influential figures in entertainment and sports. During filming on a basketball court, Jackson tried to learn some of Jordan's tricks, while the NBA star attempted to follow the King of Pop's complex dance moves. A crossover between musical and athletic talent. Rolled ice cream, or Thai ice cream, is a delicious innovation that is quickly prepared on a frozen metal sheet. The liquid mixture is poured onto the cold surface, creating a thin layer that freezes instantly. Then, using spatulas, it is scraped and rolled into small rolls, which are served in a cup to enjoy. In Germany, the University of Kiel transformed its main building into a giant Tetris console. The facade became an interactive screen where blocks fell in real time, as if the building itself were playing. This project combined art, technology, and gamer nostalgia, attracting attention and smiles. It was a brilliant way to connect architecture with the digital world. Sandboarding is like surfing sand mountains. You hop on a board and launch yourself down giant dunes at full speed. It is the hot weather version of snowboarding, and you can do it standing, sitting, or lying down. You do not need snow, just courage and a desire to slide. Ideal for adrenaline seekers in the middle of the desert. Baird's tapir, the largest land mammal in Central America, is a fascinating animal belonging to the tapir family. With its robust body and short legs, it has a flexible trunk that helps it feed on leaves and fruit. Its dark brown fur is accented by a lighter patch on its neck and chest. The Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland seems straight out of a mythological tale. It consists of more than 40,000 stone columns, most of them hexagonal, formed 60 million years ago by cooled lava. Some even have 8 sides, like a giant natural jigsaw puzzle. But local legend has another version. It is said to have been built by a colossus. Antoine Griezmann not only shines on the football field, he also has a unique family coincidence. His 3 children were born on the same day. Mia, Amaro, and Alba were all born on April 8th, but in different years, 2016, 2019, and 2021. This date has become so special that it is celebrated in a big way at the Griezmann household, 1 party, 3 cakes, and lots of joy every year. Although jellyfish are poisonous to most marine animals, sea turtles have an incredible resistance to their toxins. Their digestive system and bodies are immune to the stinging cells, allowing them to eat them without any problem. This gives them an advantage when feeding on creatures that others avoid. Their anatomy allows them to enjoy a feast that would be lethal for others. Haumea is a dwarf planet with a very particular shape. It looks like a giant potato floating in space. Although it is similar in size to Pluto, it has its own style with a pair of rings, as if it wanted to imitate Saturn. It is located beyond Neptune at the outer reaches of the solar system. Its elongated shape and rapid rotation make it one of the most curious bodies orbiting the Sunday. The Titanic could be resurrected in 2027, but with a modern twist. Blue Star Line, led by Australian entrepreneur Clive Palmer, is building an exact replica of the famous ocean liner, the Titanic II. This impressive project, originally planned for 2022, will now set sail in June 2027. The ship will maintain the classic style of the original, but with technological improvements that guarantee greater safety and comfort. It will also follow the same historic route from Southampton to New York, reviving the magic of a golden age. Akal Teke horses are famous for their elegance, but some can be born hairless due to a rare genetic condition called naked foal syndrome. This disorder prevents foals of this breed from developing their characteristic coat. In addition to hairlessness, affected horses may experience problems such as dental malformations, digestive disorders, and persistent diarrhea. This rare condition is hereditary and passed down within the breed. In 2013, a team of Chinese scientists revolutionized dentistry by creating human teeth using stem cells extracted from urine. They implanted these cells into the kidneys of mice, and within 3 weeks, they were able to grow complete dental structures with enamel and pulp. This breakthrough opened new possibilities for dental regeneration in humans. In Japan, the Mori Building Digital Art Museum TeamLab Borderless offers a completely different art experience. Here you will not find traditional paintings or sculptures. Instead, digital art comes to life and constantly changes. The works adapt to the movement of visitors, creating an immersive and dynamic environment. The museum uses cutting-edge technology to merge art with interactivity. Meet Crystal, a monkey who has made a name for herself in Hollywood. Known for her role in the film The Hangover, Crystal has appeared in more than 20 films throughout her career. Her acting skills have made her one of the highest-paid animals in the industry, earning more than many humans. The world's smallest movie is called A Boy and His Atom, and it is made with real atoms. IBM scientists used a microscope so powerful that it can move atoms one by one to create this mini animation. Each frame was assembled at the atomic scale and then magnified 100 million times. The result is an adorable story made with the most basic matter in the universe. Guinness World Records recognized it as the tiniest movie ever created. The world's largest Christmas tree is on a mountain. In Gubbio, Italy, they create a giant tree every year using lights that cover more than 2,450 feet in height. It is not a real tree, but a spectacular light installation that transforms the entire hillside. It can be seen from miles away. An underwater museum? Yes, it exists. It is called Musa and it is in Cancun, Mexico. There, more than 500 sculptures rest on the seabed, creating a gallery that you can only visit by diving or snorkeling. It is art, nature, and adventure all in one. Tell us in the comments which of these curiosities blew your mind the most. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share for more fun facts.